It's after dark in the daytime. That's right. It's Sunday Funday. How's everybody doing out there? Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. Most of us are still trapped inside. Some of us have gotten out this weekend. With me today is our resident script doctor. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Tom. How are you doing today?
I'm peachy. I'm here. That's all that counts, I guess.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody in the chat. As we got everybody to file in, we got Forbidden Ruin, we got Flashy Vic, we got a Louvrian Imikara, if I'm saying that right. Slots. I smell sexy filth. What? you smexy filth. Okay. I think.
Oh boy, it's got working your magic offline. I see, huh?
I guess. Keith Howard's here. How you doing? Clone Captain Blasto. Red Lantern's Rage in Congo We Trust. Yes, we do. Grand Moff Inquisitor's also here. Mr. Kurt LB Mills. Where are the boobs, weed, and tequila? Well, they're all here with me. And we got the Mexican Iron Man. How you doing, sir? Wayne Grave and Michael Cordova. Ed Bauer. Everybody's filing in for this Sunday afternoon. We got Max Styran. Is that how you say it? Vertical Horizons. There we go. Straight in, no foreplay. That is right. We don't have Rob yet. He'll be here in a minute. He just messaged me.
Oh, great.
He's slow. He's slow. Bubes. Hello, Tim on Flip. We got Jay Bama fan. We got Eldrick
Thrust Lord.
I can't talk today. I might as well start over. Oh boy. Techman Blade, how you doing? Not late for once. That's right. No, you're not. Or you mean us? That could also mean us. How you doing, Steven Saucedo? Old school film and gaming reviews. Hopefully everybody's doing good on this Sunday afternoon. So we'll wait a few minutes to get started with. I mean, we don't have a ton of topics, but we got a few things, and I don't know who's all going to show up yet. So we'll see who does. But until Rob gets here, Script Doctor, what you been up to?
Well, I've been doing a lot of writing as I've been given an assignment. One of my friends is going to be pitching some stuff to a studio this Friday. And so one of the things I've been working on for a while, he asked me to write up a script. And then late last night, he said, oh, I don't need a script. I just need an outline sorry, a synopsis. So, yeah, I've been kind of busy and stressed on that. But now everything's kind of laxed out a bit. So I'm gearing up to take a little bit easy on that part, get back to doing some content creation on my channel, and getting some normal hours of sleep. That also seems like it'll be pretty appealing for this week. What about yourself, Tom? What has been going on?
Well, as I've been sending it to you over and over throughout the week, I've been working on this editorial that just got away from me. But hopefully I'm beating it into submission. Mills says here, giant freaking robot just posted saying Section 31 is confirmed. I wonder who's going to pay for this. More like they've been posting that it's been confirmed for how long? How many times is it going to be confirmed at this point?
I think this is number 8 in the past year and a bit. Yeah, because they announced it, just after the first season of Star Trek Discovery?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's a good question. Who is going to pay for it?
All right, sorry, hang on a second. I got a phone call.
Yeah, no worries. We'll just take a look, see what's going on at the chat. Hey, Sketch Therapy, how are you doing? 52 movies a year. Hey, how's it going? Beating it into submission means many things. Yes, it does. Well, one thing to note is that writing is unfortunately rewriting. Even if you're the type of person that likes to outline or not outline, either way, once you finish that first draft, guess what? That's your outline, because the odds of you wanting to go ahead with that right away are usually pretty slim when you've been writing for a long time. So you always get notes, you always get other ideas that come with your content when you're writing. So yeah, it's just beating into submission is basically just trying to hammer out all the things, make it nice and tight, good for the audience to make it easy for them to digest and also entertaining.
Sorry about that, and thanks for covering.
No worries.
Now my phone's off, so nobody can bother me. All right. So yeah, you were talking about me beating something into submission. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, yes, 52 movies a year was referring to beating into submission means many things, and I kept it a little clean by focusing it on the rewriting process, which happens to all of us writers, especially ones that have been doing it for quite a long time. We value the rewrite because it helps you focus things out, helps you drop a lot of repeated words that often happen when you're doing like a monologue for a character or a scene description of something. So yeah, you're able to get it nice and tight, nice and clean, and that way, if all the other pieces fall into place, you get a good product where the audience can be properly entertained.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. That's basically what I meant. More so because this editorial just got away from me. It was like, we like to keep things within 5 pages because that's roughly 10 minutes. This thing was getting like not over 9 minutes, and I still had a long ways to go. So I was, or 9 pages, I mean, and so that would have been like probably 19, 20 minutes or whatever I meant.
When I do my scripts for my own videos, I don't use it in normal script format. I just use like a Google Doc or something. And the way it's worked out is a page is approximately like 2.5 minutes. So
yeah, I mean, I just basically use a regular. I mean, you've seen our format. It's basically our format, what you saw there. So
yeah, it's pretty similar to mine. You just got the nice little breaks to your subject headings.
Yeah, and the only difference is I don't have like the bullet points in there and stuff like we would normally have, or I didn't put it because since I'm going to be the one editing it anyway, I didn't put any of the links and stuff like I normally would have in there as well. But yeah, it's just a pretty basic thing.
Yeah. A little behind the scenes of content creation here on YouTube, everybody.
I don't care. I'll show people. If it'll even, no, it won't even come up probably. I hear it will. See, that's just basically what they look like.
Yeah.
Just write them up. Put little notes here and there. That's pretty much it. So you guys got a preview of the next editorial. Where you at, Rob? Probably eating his lunch. Oh, it's too late for him to be eating lunch. Actually 52 movies a year. This will be my first editorial if it gets through. It's actually on the AMC Universal business, or more so how Universal handled it. But that'll be coming hopefully earlier this week. We'll see here. Hey, Mando Merc, how you doing? So yeah, I don't know where the hell Rob is.
Is he still on dial-up?
Probably. No, I don't even know what the hell I did with that thing I had here. Here it is. All right. Yeah, like I said, there wasn't a whole lot to talk about. The one thing that I thought was really kind of funny was this whole DC Universe thing, this Harley Quinn. Now, you watch this show, evidently, from what it sounds like. What's it about? Is it kind of like say his name 3 times?
And his mic is muted? Okay.
I think so.
Well, who, what, how, where, when? Oh, what? Hold on.
Good morning.
Your timing is impeccable.
Well, I don't need to play the theme right now?
We're way past that.
Oh, damn.
Like 10 minutes past that.
Okay.
So yeah, we're just we actually hadn't even looked at this yet. Script was about to tell us a little bit about the Harley Quinn show.
Oh God! I saw that. Can we just like whoever was responsible for this? Let's just spank them. No, I just mean spank them until they cry. I mean that's the thing. This because you deserve. Exactly.
So yes. Rob, have you seen the show at all? The Harley Quinn on DC Universe?
I haven't seen the show. No.
Yeah, it's not as terrible as you would suspect it to be, but it is also Well, it's not as good as it could be either. It's basically, if you're familiar with a cartoon show called The Venture Brothers, it's trying to take that
Yeah,
type of tone and
I
apply
know.
it to Batman.
I know the
So,
Venture Brothers. Yeah.
now you don't know them either?
I know the Venture Brothers. I know
Oh,
the
you
Venture
do know? Okay, cool. Yeah, so it's basically just trying to take like the concept of every character failing and throwing it into the attitude of Batman characters, and also giving like there's plots, there's motivations, there's reasons for the characters to do something, which is nice to see in DC properties, especially as of late. But yeah, the comedy's kind of, you know, low hanging fruit, pretty easy to do, doesn't really surprise you. Um, but
That's like the big thing now, because comedy writers suck these days, so they just go for the low hanging fruit.
yeah, they don't like, you can take your average comedian who does your stand up and does a lot of curse words and talks about the typical stuff about their love life or how pathetic they are or whatever. And then you've got more classical comedians like, say, Norm Macdonald, who he's not everybody's taste, but he never goes for the low easy joke.
Speaking of Norm
Yeah.
Macdonald,
Oh,
Steve Kenobi just
yes,
walked in the door with a dead hooker.
yes, enough.
Well, to be fair, it was half a hooker. Had to chop it in half to get through the door.
At least it's the better half.
Yeah,
Fun half.
It's the half that counts.
How you
Was
doing,
this guy's
Steve?
t-shirt? The Last Jedi is not what?
Not canon. Yeah, oddly enough, they have no problem putting release the Snyder cut on the one guy, but funnily, they didn't put the Phantom Menace on the other guy's shirt. But you can tell it's the obvious a design they're going for with the red on black.
Well, they're right. It shouldn't be canon. Because if that one is canon, then episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 can't be.
Well, what's fascinating is the relationship between these two characters. The Release the Snyder Cut guy is a bit obnoxious and kind of his own interpretation of, I guess, machismo. And the Last Jedi guy is more passive and reasonable and willing to take a look at new things.
Yeah, I mean, he only gets like 2 lines, but
Yeah. And then there's also a tag of these two guys at the end of the episode as well.
Oh, is there? Okay.
Yep.
Well, we'll watch a bit of this clip, and then you'll have to get us up to speed on that. But before we do watch this, was there anything we need to kind of know about Harley Quinn? Anything else that you kind of didn't cover already about her? Her show, anyway?
Well, she's voiced by Kaylee Cuoco from The Big Bang Theory, and she doesn't have her Jersey type accent. So yeah, that's basically the only thing. But it's a different take on Harley Quinn, but it still feels a little familiar. It's kind of like a blending between what they did with the New 52 and what she was prior to that. Her best friend is, of course, Poison Ivy, and in the series, Poison Ivy is dating Kite Man, and that's the other part of the joke, is that Kite Man is a villain, but he's a lame villain, and they exploit the heck out of that.
He sounds high though.
He is very high.
As a kite.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's watch a little bit of this.
Would I watch a show that's set in Gotham City, but Batman's barely in it?
You watched.
Helps if I start it from the beginning, right?
I can't believe you want to watch this show. You know, they just did a 3-episode arc where Harley beats Penguin, Riddler, and Mr. Freeze using nothing but her Mary Sue powers.
Are you sure you haven't seen the show?
Yeah, because I'm not a 12-year-old girl. Also, dude, why would I watch a show that's set in Gotham City, but Batman's barely in it?
That's like every Batman show. To be fair. So yeah, I just want to break this up a little bit so it's transformative. But yeah, so I mean, they're not really far off.
You watched all 5 seasons of Gotham.
Because it wasn't a fucking tsunami of virtue signaling. Here, smart guy, let's see what this week's episode of Harley Quinn is about. Harley Quinn and her best friend Poison Ivy, aren't in this episode, which focuses on Batman waking from his coma and vowing to take back Gotham City. Fuck. fine. But if it sucks, we're watching Family Guy. I can't believe.
So yeah, that's the clip.
Yep.
Could be worse.
Oh, definitely. I mean, yeah, it could definitely be worse, but this one is kind of tame. You know, it's got a little bit of a joke to it, a little bit inside baseball for those that don't travel in the certain circles on the internet. But yeah, otherwise, it's not bad.
Have they had many cracks at the fans before this?
No, this would be the first instance. The show does walk a line between woke and offensive, and it does it kind of creatively. Oddly enough, the most creative aspect of it is how they have Doctor Psycho calls Wonder Woman a certain word, a certain chatty until next Tuesday word. And that kind of ostracizes him from the Legion of Doom, and he has to get like a publicist to fix his image, even though he's a supervillain. So there's a little bit of irony there. Harley breaks up with Joker like legit now, and her whole goal is to try and be her own villain that's worthy enough of being recognized by the Legion of Doom and part of that process. And in this second season, after she's attained all that, Joker kind of does some shit in Gotham, and then it ends up turning Gotham into no man's land. So now second season is the no man's land stuff, and Harley Quinn's trying to like fight for territory, and she's doing it for all these revenge reasons against the big bads in Gotham that froze her for like 5 or 6 months or something of that time, and so it's a weird story. If you're desperate for some Batman content that's fresh and okay but not fantastic, it'll do. If you have the DC Universe already, you might as well put it on the background to see if it picks up your attention.
Yeah, and I mean, the only thing that was like, I'm like, why didn't they just put the Phantom Menace there? But I guess there's a rumor that somebody may have a trademark on it, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how true it is. Nobody would answer me on that, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. So
I'm unsure what's going on.
Oh, really? Are you not a DC fan there, Stieg?
I like DC, but I have to admit I'm kind of a noob. I haven't seen the Harley Quinn show.
You're not alone. I haven't seen it either. Rob,
I wouldn't even say I'm a DC fan. I'm more of a Batman fan, if anything. And
I only started watching it during the lockdown because my sister came over when she's like, "Hey, let's watch some Batman stuff," because she also loves Batman. So yeah,
I like the Arkham games. They're fun.
Yes, the Arkham games are pretty fun.
How you doing, Miss Martin Muses? So yeah, other than that, this Naughty Dog business, I haven't been keeping up with it too much outside of just how you doing in a disguise, just outside of the fact that like Jeremy on Geeks and Gamers and Ryan Cannell and all them have gotten copyright claims on top of other people, and now all of a sudden Naughty Dog's trying to claim, they were hacked or some other business. I don't know. The whole thing is just kind of getting stupid, if you ask me. You been keeping up with it at all, Rob?
Yeah. I'm doing some work in the background on something here. So if I sound a little spotty, that's the thing. Yeah. And, hey guys, way to go. Way to shoot yourself in the foot. Instead of turning into the skid, you pretty much made every mistake you possibly could with this one. You blame the fans. Way to go. That works so well these days, doesn't it?
Speaking of Jeremy, I guess you just uploaded another video. I haven't seen the video.
What's going on? It's Jeremy Geeks Gamers with another video. And today, Jeremy's going guy.
He says, the title is Naughty Dog plays hacker. plays the victim. Hackers leaked The Last of Us Part 2. So, yeah, after you're done watching us, check that out. I'm not going to show it on here because it's his video. So,
Well, this is a train
All right,
wreck.
it's another video.
I mean,
what was that, Steve?
I mean, the story of the game being leaked is bad, right? But it's out there. You can't stop it now. So with them censoring people by
The horse is out of the barn. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's this is making it so much worse for them. And yeah, it's like it reminds me of Chuck Wendig a couple of years ago, but only this time he has power, right? Just
Yeah.
censoring everyone, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna play the transphobic card, and they're gonna play the sexist card as well.
Well, they're playing the hacked card first, evidently. Yeah. So, Script, you been keeping up with this at all?
No, unfortunately, I'm not a big video game person. I play some games every once in a while, but not many. So I'm not too familiar with this. I do remember the trailer for the first Last of Us a few years back, which I thought looked pretty cool. And my understanding was that the game was pretty popular. So yeah, a lot of people are looking forward to this sequel, and I guess some cutscenes were released, and people's reactions were less than ideal for.
I played the first game. It wasn't bad, but I lost interest halfway through it.
I didn't even get that far.
Did it get too repetitive, or?
No, I just put it down and never picked it back up. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, and I looked at my shelf. Oh, yeah, I have that. Oh, okay. PS3, not buying it for the PS4. Sorry. Nothing, nothing to do with politics. I just had no desire to finish it. And the thing is, a guy by the name of Evan Wells used to run. He used to be like project manager or something on Naughty Dog, and he was the guy that pretty much did the first Uncharted game. And now he's left to go work on the Last of Us TV series for HBO, which has left Neil Druckmann, the Drucker, in charge. So I'm not saying that's where the problem started, but he started listening to a certain someone's opinions. Remember that sketch on that Cheech and Chong record, Queer Wars?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Don't you know we're supposed to be at war with Anita? How that man? But I wanted to go to the disco. Oh, come on, Dougie. Okay. I can't wear my jeans. I look fat. No, you don't. I do. Oh, you do not. I do. Okay, you do. You think I'm fat?
Rosetta Allen sends us $5, Rob.
I love that sketch. Hold on. Where's my ka-ching? Oh, Rosetta Allen. I'm only playing pretensies. Rosetta, if hacker usually tries to defend and protect your info, right? That makes such sense.
Sometimes they could be vindictive and try to make money off it. Other times they could just be a jerk and release it just to watch the chaos. Who knows? But it's just, it all feels a little convenient, I suppose.
We have from one of our favorite listeners, the Mexican Iron Man. Olé! Mexican Iron Man, $14.99 to honor Midnight's Edge. I propose this week we celebrate Cinco de Robo, and we do a shot each time we name a Karen Kennedy. We'll be sloshed halfway through. Could
do Star Wars drinks, but remember to drink the horn shot first.
Well, tomorrow's May the 4th, and then Tuesday would be Cinco de Mayo. So
May the 4th is nothing. That's just Disney trying to commercialize a date.
Now that was before Disney. They were doing that.
Yeah, wasn't Star Wars
No.
Day like the 24th or 25th usually?
Well, that was the
20th.
day it was originally
25th.
released, yes, but
Yeah.
May the 4th be with you's been a thing for at least
It's
30
just-
years or more now.
It's just a bad pun.
Yeah, kind of, basically. And you should talk, Stieg.
I don't make bad puns.
That's debatable. Sometimes they're really good. I will give you that.
Mm.
But sometimes a really bad pun can come all the way around to being great. So there's that.
Thank you for understanding. That was bad on purpose.
Yes, it was.
Well, Stieg,
Boy, that escalated quickly.
What were you going to say, Script Doctor? I'm sorry.
I was just going to remark how Stieg is a valuable pundit.
Thank you.
That was almost as good as Stieg's puns. We got another $5 from Rosetta.
Okay. I'm desperately going through a couple files here. Hold on a second. $5 from Rosetta Allen. No chance a hacker was claiming things to protect them. If they didn't, I'm soft-spoken and angelic, and most of Stig's puns are bad. Well, okay.
And Rosetta is mostly a twat.
Typical Stieg.
But yeah,
Hi.
say that.
So yeah, what else is going on, Rob? What'd you do to? Oh yeah, I know what's going on. You might not get to see Bond till next year. Now, did you see this?
However, will I cope?
However,
What's
will
it-
you cope? Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't know. We'll use this one since they mentioned someone we know.
It's they mentioned someone we know.
Yeah.
Who?
I don't know. Read it and find out.
Oh, okay.
Sorry for all the clicks here, folks. I'm trying to figure out where I'm at. There we go. No Time to Die. Daniel Craig stars release gets pushed back to 2021.
2021.
They're really
2021.
hoping they could probably do some reshoots in before the actual lockdown if it didn't work, huh?
Funny you mentioned that.
Where am I looking here? Hold on. Blah 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 blah. Filling time. Stalling.
Bird is a word. Why? What are you doing? Playing porn or what?
Everybody's heard about the bird. James Bond, No Time to Die. Daniel Craig star release gets pushed to 2021. Daniel Craig star. Well, I get to see Daniel Craig movie or film. James Bond, No Time to Die release is likely gets postponed to 2021. What is redundant? Daniel Craig star. God, they did the same line 3 or 4 times. Daniel Craig starred. No Time to Die initially was slated for April 2020 release. The film found itself in a spot when the you-know-what pandemic impacted several parts of the world and resulted in its release being pushed to November 2020. As the you-know-what scare continues to haunt, James Bond's 25th release has been postponed yet again. The film that was first scheduled for April 2020 might now be out only in 2021. Mr. Bond. He goes, you will not escape so easily. Initially, when James Bond No Time to Die's release got postponed to November 2020, it was cited that the you-know-what is not the only reason for the film's delay. YouTube channel Midnight's Edge, we're famous. See that? Claimed that a test screening for No Time to Die was hosted a few weeks before and the decided release date, and it received a bad review. Sources before Midnight's Edge that a recent test screening of No Time to Die did not go well. Though we do not have any specifics about what was ill-received by test audiences, we're being told they are scheduling 2 pieces of reshoots to last 12 to 14 days, UK Express reported. However, considering the ongoing crisis, there's no guarantee that the James Bond film will be happening in a few months. As a huge fortune is involved in the making of the film, is more likely to release next year than in 2020, with less audience turning up at the cinema halls, a source told Daily Mail. The film's budget is reported to be a whopping $250 million US, which demands its debut in the theaters. The release date of many films have been pushed ahead in the wake of the you-know-what outbreak. As the movie calendar remains clear until July, it is likely that James Bond's No Time to Die gets pushed to next year.
Wow, that's kind of good, interesting timing considering what happened between AMC and Universal, right? Do you think Universal's hoping that AMC will forget this by next year and internationally release No Time to Die?
Yeah, well, they got the international distribution. MGM's got international, which they really need. Yeah. Robot Shlomo, you are sounding all robotic, so I'm going to read the couple of super chats we got here real quick. Rosetta Allen sends $2. That's why Stieg wants to eat me. I'm assuming that goes with the comment that Stieg made.
Well, I was doing some work on something in the background. So
now you're sounding better. What the hell were you doing? Porn?
Yes, I was doing porn.
God damn it, do that on your own time. Adam Wolford, $5. Get to work.
Porn is the answer. Okay. Adam Wolford, $5. The same thing happened. Project CD Red. Most of the concept art and story was hacked and released. They asked us fans, don't share it or spoil it.
Yeah, good company. Best developer out there.
Don't you know there was actually that 52 movies a year, $4.99. I hope if 007 has reshoots, that Daniel Craig has a mustache and they have to CGI his mouth. It worked out so well for Justice League. Don't you know that was the original lyric actually in John Lennon's Mind Games? Instead of love is the answer, it was porn is the answer. Porn is the answer.
Maybe they'll get smart and they'll actually replace Daniel Craig with Henry Cavill.
Eldrick Christchurch, $1.99 super sticker. Thank you very much. Oh, there's that freaky plague doctor. Then right there. I found out why they have the big beak, the plague doctors. It wasn't just to look scary. It was just the beak was stuffed with herbs.
Yeah, and incense and shit.
Yeah, so because they thought it would filter out the
because they're dealing with dead bodies too. Yeah.
No, yeah, it kills the smell of. Well, it prevents them from smelling the dead bodies.
Yeah. I thought it was just a freaky looking thing.
Danny DeVito is Bond.
I'm James Bond. I'm James Bond. Damn it! I'm James Bond. I really don't have a Danny DeVito,
which is sad because you're Italian and you're short. You should.
And I'm bald. I hit the trifecta.
I don't know if I could do a good Danny DeVito either. I'd have to try.
Laka. Whoa, man! You just wasted Elvis Costello.
I'd watch Danny as 007.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Oh, I saw something that said Man with the Golden Gun is problematic towards little people because Hervé Villechaize gets locked in a trunk at the end of the movie.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Well, he is named Knick-Knack, and you put knickknacks in a trunk, so.
Good point.
Sounds more like Sam Kinison as 007.
Blofeld, let me ask you a question. All these girls here, what do they cost an hour? What?
More money than you can afford.
What? Pee-wee said what? Rick James, what?
Rick James, bitch.
I missed the show. Tom, we got a guy in Milwaukee who's got human heads in his freezer. But the top story, Sam Kinison missed the Joan Rivers show.
But you don't say that.
Oh, Lord. Sam, where are you?
Sam, where are you when we need you? Just like George.
Sam is. I miss Sam. I really do miss Sam. It's Sam's first comedy album has been re-released on iTunes, and it's making me actually have to contemplate using iTunes again.
Oh Jesus! Just find another way, man.
Yeah, I can't find it, man. It's like I said, there's no good. Rip
I'll
of it.
find it.
Oh, you won't.
Oh,
you won't, because that would mean you would have to get it through nefarious methods. I don't want to do that. Sam, I'm sorry. Sam. Just re-release the fucker on CD, please, already. Come on.
Probably isn't it not on eBay on CD?
How
many albums did he have? Like 4 or 5?
He had like 4 of them. Louder Than Hell's the first one. Have You Seen Me Lately? There's the his last recorded one, which I have, which is great. Breaking the Rules. Sam Kinison Live in Las Vegas. He has this great bit about he's at the Petroff in Las Vegas. This is years ago, and this guy next to him, old guy, and all of a sudden he hears,
which one were you looking for?
The first one, Louder Than Hell.
Louder Than Hell?
Yeah. He's like, oh, he's like, buddy, come on. If it hurts to pee, that's it. It's over. He sounds like he's Mr. Red pulling a broom out of his ass. Oh, Wilbur. Oh.
You can get it for
Indians do. That happens. Indians, you say, oh, pee-pee hurt. Time to die. Pee-pee hurt. Time to go to mountains. Talk to Great Spirit. Pee-pee hurt.
Why does Live from Hell keep coming up for it?
I'm really confused.
What?
Was that not his HBO special too?
Live from Hell? Maybe. I don't know.
You can get the cassette pretty cheap. They got the LP on here.
Well, get the cassette. It's more fun.
Yeah, right. No, the LP would probably work better.
My brother Dave asked
me to rip it.
My brother Dave asked me, where can I buy cassettes? I said, well, probably 1986.
There's still companies that do make some of them.
Yeah.
They're coming back because I think Stranger Things had something to do with it.
Well, that's kind of part of it, but another part of it is like police stations in certain other areas still use them quite a bit. So there's still a demand for them.
Magnetic tape has a pretty long shelf life. I remember like when I was in high school and I worked for a video store. One of the interesting things my teacher said when he found out about that is that DVDs will last a long time, but VHS will physically be able to last longer than it while being stored. Apparently, DVDs are made from a cheaper plastic that they will degrade after like 60 years, but like VHS will be good for up to 200 years.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like I said, there's it's metal. There's a small,
I don't know if it's ever been released on CD, man.
I have a Commodore 64 still, and I bought some games on eBay, and they're all on cassette tapes. Some of them were released in like '84 or something, and they still work. That's pretty kick-ass.
I don't think it's ever been on CD, Rob. Looking here.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think it has. I think it's only been on LP and cassette. I mean, you can get the LP and cassette pretty affordable, but I sent you something else. It's on YouTube, dude. Like the whole album. So.
Oh yeah. Like one continuous rip of it.
Yeah, but you could possibly get it. I think there's somebody's got a playlist with tracks, and you can just rip that with 4K downloader or whatever. Okay. It's comedy album. It's not like it's music. You're not going to lose a lot. Hey, it's YouTube. It's out there. What are you going to do?
I know. I didn't put it out there.
It's your fault, Warner Brothers, for not putting it out on CD.
I once made
how much is it for the digital version?
Hey, it's only like $10, but still,
that's over fucking price.
I like having the. Yeah, I like having the actual disc in my hand. That was the thing.
Did you ever hear
one of the things?
Oh, go ahead.
No. Well, I once was saying one time that about how this whole argument, oh well, downloading everything is, it devalues it because because that whole thing about artificial scarcity. It's like, well, if it's so valuable, why don't they release it and make money? See, that was always the thing. That was always the counter to any case like that. Oh well, if it's out there being pirated, maybe that it devalues it. I mean, it's they could be charging money for it. Well, they're not charging money for it. There you go. Why aren't they?
Well, I don't like digital downloading anything. I mean, it's just
I don't like it.
Well, what's stupid is they should have like CD. Well, you could make your own, I guess, with the high definition files or whatever, if they give you wave files or FLAC files. Yeah. Anyway, the comedy album. I'm not.
Comedy album doesn't make sense. I mean, it's not Sgt. Pepper or
exactly. It's not like you're really worried about the quality as much, but it's still just why would you never have released this? I mean, it just makes no sense. And no, I'm not a fan of digital because they'll take that shit away from you anytime. And I've seen you have enough troubles with your iTunes already.
Oh yeah. I've pretty much I rip everything on pretty much on Windows Media Player because that's what it's built for. It's built for Windows, But
I use Winamp.
I used to use Winamp when I DJ'd.
Yeah, there's a new Winamp now.
Oh, is there?
Yeah. Yeah. Is there a new version of it? I mean, because I have the latest version that when it first came. Let me see if they updated it.
I thought Winamp kind of went out of business like years ago.
That's what I was thinking. Unless there's a new version is what I was thinking. You meant
fairly new. I just use it for playing MP3 music, right?
MP3 or waves or
FLACs, anything pretty much.
FLACs, yeah.
It whips the llama's ass. Yeah. Oh, still okay. Version 53660 is the latest one, which I have. Yeah. I mean, it's good. I mean, hey, there was no better player back in the day.
Yes.
Isn't that right, Old Man Picard? Old Man Picard.
I had an 8-track player and I was happy.
We know, Old Man Picard. We know.
It was in my dune buggy.
Oh, it was. God, what was the thinking behind the tracks? Let's make it bigger, more obtrusive. Did you ever see?
Go ahead.
Did you ever see the music video? Sam Kinison dressed up like Sinead O'Connor.
I think so.
Bold move.
Oh, waka waka. So you're about to say, Thomas?
I almost half-assed forgot. So, we even wanted to do that game show thing.
Yeah, I'm looking into alternatives to PowerPoint.
Yeah, because I don't know if we can justify spending $100 and some bucks on that, but it could be fun.
In a word, no. In 2 words, no. Yeah, no. Especially when there's stuff out there that'll get more to get the job done.
Right. And what we'll want to do is we'll want to have like some YouTubers like Steeg and Script and whoever, kind of just have fun with it. There's going to be no real prizes. You get a version of our home game, I guess. That's about it.
Right.
Actually, it's a good thing we don't have prizes because then we don't have to pay taxes on them.
Yeah, that too. Well, I mean, we tried giving away Tom's stuff, and I keep losing everybody's information, and it gets buried in my messages, and that's one of the reasons why I haven't sent anything out yet. So I apologize if anybody's listening out there. Send it to my email if you hear this. Tom Connors 1980. I'll put it in the fucking chat. Because my other one's all full, and that's part of the reason. And then like Twitter and shit gets lost down the line. Facebook, same
Wait,
thing.
you have a Gmail that's full?
Yeah, I got 2 that are full. This one I actually pay for, so it doesn't fill up as fast. This is my actual business one, or whatever you want to call it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I'm not paying for any more. Fuck Google.
I mean, I'm starting to run out of space on Google Drive. I'm not going to pay them.
That's what I do now. I give them $1.99 a month just so I can be able to not run out of room in my email and have room to send Andre videos.
Okay.
Oh, you guys don't use Dropbox?
I used to, but I ain't paying for it. So, and it only allows you to use it for so long, and then it goes out, and you got to pay for it.
Well, I got this weird trial version. I think it's up to 5 gigabytes storage.
Yeah, I had it for a while where it was a trial version, and I had a lot of storage on it and everything, and it was great for like a few months, and then all of a sudden it went down to nothing, and it said I had to pay for it. So I was like, screw that.
That's weird. I've had mine for about 3 years.
I don't know how you managed to, unless it was through a business. That's maybe how.
No, like I download the application, but everything that I'm using it for, like all my friends that have it in BC and LA and some in Toronto, they don't pay for it. It's all free. But I do know one guy that does have it. He runs a small business, but he pays like a few $100s a month for it for a massive amount of storage, because he does mostly editing and compositing.
Right, we can't justify spending that kind of money on it.
No, that's way too much. And I got a squeaky chair.
Join the club. So the what was I going to say? Tom, what's this script you keep sending me while we're on it?
Well, that's my editorial. I mean, I just want everybody's opinion on it.
Okay, all right. I was wondering. Like, I thought you sent it to me by accident. So I thought it was Andres.
No, I was trying to get your help with it, and then you weren't around yesterday, and then Script Doctor helped me out a little bit.
Oh.
Then Andre's like, you need to edit a bunch of shit out, and it's too fucking long.
I just kept like, what is this? I just didn't quite know what it was.
Obviously, I'm meant to be a novelist, so.
Well, that's fine. Well, that's the thing. You throw, that's like anything. I mean, Beatles recorded way more songs than they ever put on records. So,
was that story ever true about them fucking losing one when they went overseas and come back or some shit like that, and then they went through airport security and the magnet and the thing ruined the tape? Or is that just a fucking urban legend?
I don't know. Actually, I've never heard that.
Well, aren't mostly like recording tapes, especially those in the 60s, put in tin cans that X-rays can't really do anything with?
I always thought it was an urban legend.
Yeah.
But it's supposedly like there was a lost Beatles album between Sgt. Pepper's and I think the one before that, Rubber Soul. Which one? No, Yellow Submarine. Which one was before?
That was Yellow Submarine.
Or was that after?
Sgt. Pepper.
The white
Sgt. album. Sgt. Pepper Magic Mystery Tour White Album.
It was before.
Yellow Submarine came after.
Yeah, it was before Sgt. Pepper, though.
Oh, Revolver.
Okay, Revolver. Like somewhere between Revolver and there was supposed to be a lost album. That was the rumor. I don't believe it, but I'd only heard it like once or twice. So I could have just be somebody just telling me horse shit.
Yeah, because I mean, the Beatles kind of remembered their songs. That's kind of how a band works. Right?
Well, the other part of the story is it wasn't actually, that was just the cover story, that they actually destroyed the album because they were so fucked up on LSD that it wasn't usable.
Well, then there was also there's that story that came out of Russia that they landed in Russia and to refuel. And the military came out and he goes, what are you doing here? Mop tops, what are you doing? What are you doing? And he says, no, man, we're just refueling. We're just refueling. Oh man, we're brothers and sisters just like all you. He goes, you play a song for us. And they supposedly played for the cops on the wing
impromptu live.
Yeah. That's what this, and there's people who believe that is what the song Back in the USSR is about. I'm like, kind of far-fetched. No one's ever made mention of it. Paul Ringo never said in an interview, I remember the time we had to refuel in Moscow, in Ekaterinburg. Oh man, that was hairy. That was a hairy situation.
I gotta watch the Beatles anthology because I swear that one story is kind of in there that kind of backs that up. Like Paul or George or something like is talking about how they did do a bunch of work before Sgt. Pepper's, but they were so fucked up on LSD that they just scrapped it all or something like that. So that's probably where the story originated from. Matt G, you got that super sticker right. We got another one from Culture Casino. Thank you so much.
I killed a man once. Record company said it was okay.
Doomicorns. Did you see that video I tagged you in where they actually showed how they did the X-ray record thing back in the day?
Yeah. They would burn. They would. Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's that story I've heard for years. Comrade, I have record, Beatle record. You buy good record.
Yeah,
good
Tecmone actually showed how they did that.
Yeah, yes, 10 for you, 10 ruble. 10, okay, 8 ruble, and throw in pedal blue jean. It's there's like this really messed up black market for a lot of stuff on in Soviet Russia, that they would have this soap, and the soap, it was hard, and when you wet it down and you rub it on something, it would actually seal a lot of stuff. You could seal a hole in the gas tank of your car with it.
So it's the solvent?
It wasn't a solvent, it was a soap. It was like a hand soap. But it would once it would harden, it would be like cement.
Because Russian skin is that strong, right? They need it to be cement level.
That comrade, Russian skin is that strong. Yeah, da. And there's
we're not soft like your American Muppets and Moose.
Muppets. Natasha, we go to Washington. You go to hit them with goof gas. It's hard to take Washington. No, Boris darling. It's easy. Look at newspaper. Boston takes Washington 7-2. Anybody could take Washington.
I don't believe it.
I found out that was actually Robert Conrad that used to do the narrator voices?
I think so. That, or it was either him or yeah, I'm pretty sure it was him, wasn't it?
Well, we last left our heroes,
Yeah, because it's not it's oh god, I can't think of the guy's name. He just died a couple years back too. He used to do all the voiceover. No. He used to do the voice of Space Ghost and
that. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, it's not him either. You're right. I think it's William Conrad, says Larry, who also sent us a super chat, by the way.
William Conrad sent us a super chat. That's a miracle.
Yeah. And yeah, K-Mation, we talked a little bit about it earlier. I did send the link out to like Jeremy and stuff, but he's probably busy.
They used to send all the animation down to Mexico for Rocky and Bullwinkle, and they were notoriously bad at it. And you could see the colors of the mustaches actually changing from scene to scene.
The show is not known for its fucking animation.
No, but it worked. It worked surprisingly well for what
for the most part. But even as a kid, I could tell it was cheap as shit. Gary Owens, that's who I was thinking of. Thank you, Alpha J. God
good
dang.
one. Yeah.
Because he was also another one that was, yeah.
What does Pennsylvania have more than anything else? Do we have raw materials? No. Do we have technology? No. We have an abundance of mean.
Yes, Black Phoenix. We actually talked about that like a month ago, wasn't it? 2 months ago, maybe. The Boris and Natasha movie from HBO or Showtime, whatever it was.
Oh, right.
Sally and Dave Thomas, right?
Yeah.
Sally Kellerman was a tall drink of water.
Yeah, because we were talking about how hot she was. Yeah. Death Ray Bargain Bin, how you been? Long time no see. $2 super chat.
Yeah, because there's that scene in. Have you seen Retroblasting the Iger sanctioning? Don't mention his name. He might appear.
And yes, I have seen it, and I shared it on Twitter. I love Retro Blasting's work. One of the highlights of my year this so far has been having him on the High Council and doing High Council, and that was cool. So yeah, I love Retro Blasting.
That's the video where he talks about how the corporate mentality doesn't work in an artistic.
Yeah.
That was a great video.
Oh yeah, he's definitely like if he wasn't doing what he was doing, he would definitely probably be in our domain for like he'd be somebody I definitely would want to get in the Midnight's Edge fold for sure. Sith Lord in Batman voice. Excuse me, I'll get Batman on. I just want to be one of the cool kids. Okay.
That's funny. Well, what was I going to say about something about Rocky and Bull? Oh yeah, Ted Knight. Somebody brought up Ted Knight did Super Friends. Well, a lot of times they would do those under different names because they were non-union jobs.
Yeah, Paul Frees is another famous name who did a lot of voiceovers. Edward Horton, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's his face? Doug Pardo is another one. Don Pardo, not Doug.
Don Pardo, yep.
Didn't you? Casey Kasem did a lot of stuff too. A lot of voiceovers.
Yeah, Ted Knight also.
Meanwhile,
at the Hall of Justice, Mary.
Didn't you say recently that Dudley Do-Right actually came before?
I think so, because if you look at the copyrights on the first episode of Bullwinkle, like the copyrights for all the Bullwinkle cartoons are like 68 or whatever, and like Dudley Do-Right is like 67, and then what was one of the other ones they showed on the first one? I can't remember. Like Twisted Fairy Tales or something like that was like 67. It was they were like both copyrighted a year or two before Bullwinkle. So I don't know the history, but I'm willing to bet that they kept trying to get other things made, and then Bullwinkle was the thing that caught on, and they just threw those other cartoons in there. Is my I could be wrong, but I'm just guessing just from seeing that. Or was it 50s? Sorry,
Sherman and Peabody came out the same year as Bullwinkle. Like that didn't have an earlier copyright either, right?
I can't remember now. Actually, that might be in. Was that in Bullwinkle and?
Yeah, Sherman and Peabody were part of the Bullwinkle show.
I think those. Maybe that was the other one. Now you're right. That one might have been actually copyrighted first.
We're doing.
And Larry's right. It was the 1950s, not the 60s. My bad. George of the Jungle, I think, came later.
Yeah,
I'm not mistaken.
MEAD episode about Rocky and Bullwinkle. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this,
right? Well, fuck, I got the whole DVD set. I didn't know you were much of a fan, or I would have. I got it for like dirt fucking cheap on Black Friday, though.
Oh, that's nice.
So,
I always wanted a "What's the Matter You" sweatshirt.
I don't know what's the matter you.
Hello there, today, friends. Today we are going to discuss how to be a beatnik.
That was a pretty good Bullwinkle.
That was, yeah.
Bristol. Underdog is a good one too, but I think that came later as well.
Underdog was like Rocky and Bullwinkle, Underdog. All that came sort of from the same house, Tennessee Tuxedo. That all came from
that's what I was saying. Is it was like they kept trying or whatever. And Fractured, not Twisted. My bad.
There's also when I was a kid, it aired alongside Rocket Robin Hood and the Mighty Hercules, where you put on the ring and then lightning strikes him and becomes super
Which I think
strong.
were both by the same people too. I need to grab a drink and I'm going to grab my box set anyway. You guys keep waxing.
There was actually Courageous Cat was another big one when I was a kid.
I don't think I ever saw Courageous Cat.
Courageous Cat was created by Bob Kane, actually.
Are we sure about that?
No, it was Courageous Cat.
Oh, I'm just Bob Kane has not always been considered the sole creator of anything he's made. There's always ulterior stories, but yeah, his name is associated with it. And
yeah,
remember the Get Along Gang?
Oh yeah.
That was fun.
Well, it said
anyway.
Created by Bob Kane. That's what it says here.
Ooh.
Yeah, they did a lot of them. Actually, they did a lot of them. They did 80. They did 92 episodes of Courageous Cat. Between 1961 and between 1960 and 1962. But they're all like maybe like 8 minutes long. So yeah, and what was the name of the villain? I can't remember. The frog villain. Anyway, Top Cat was another big one. I used to love Top.
I had a video game on that one.
Yeah.
Commodore 64 Top Cat game.
Hmm.
Pretty
Oh,
cool.
okay.
With a Hanna-Barbera collection box. Had 5 games in it.
See, how many of these cartoons would be problematic? Adamant, yeah. How many of these would be problematic?
All of
Was
them.
George of the Jungle its own thing?
Yes.
It was.
'Cause I'm not seeing it on here. Yeah, they got Dudley Do Right and Sherman and Peabody though.
That was a Jay Ward, another Jay Ward production, right?
Yeah, yeah, but it came later because this is all 163 episodes.
Oh wow.
George in the Jungle, Friends of You and Me. Watch out for that tree. Yeah, I'm trying to think of another Jay Ward. Oh, Aesop's Fables was actually pretty good. I used to like that.
Heathcliff.
Heathcliff
Was one.
Heathcliff's good. Yeah, what kind of stuff did you grow up with over there, Steve?
Well, we had He-Man, Transformers, G.I. Joe.
Okay.
A lot of Tom and Jerry. That was I love that, especially the old episodes where the cat got really fucked up.
Now, let me ask: did they change the name of G.I. Joe over in Norway, or was it still G.I. Joe?
The TV show, the cartoon was called G.I. Joe, but the toys were called Action Force.
Yeah, because they
And
they
so
would
was the
change.
comics.
They changed the name for the UK and a lot of other places. Oddly enough, though, I read in Poland and in Belgium, they were still it was still called G.I. Joe, a real American hero.
We had Asterix, which is a French cartoon thing. Gauls against Romans, very fun.
Same guy
Did
who
you
did
guys
Tintin.
did you have Speed Racer over there? The old 50s or
No.
60s Speed Racer?
We had Jace and the Wheeled Warriors.
We had that here. Yeah,
Best intro song ever. Brave Star was another one. What else?
Wacky Races.
Yeah.
Star Kids or something. Don't know what that was. It was.
I think we had something like that here. Maybe it was the same thing.
Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Ninja Turtles. A lot of Donald Duck and Goofy. Those old ones.
Now, like Thundercats host says here, where they changed over there as far as the title, because in most areas outside the U.S. they were Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles.
Yeah, that's true. It was called Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles.
Yeah.
There was a series I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember for the life of me the name of it. There you go.
The sound's not coming through, is it?
No. Well,
No.
yeah, we're gonna get this. This is owned by NBC now, Tom.
Actually, yeah, NBC Universal. Yeah.
Yeah, freaking love. Like I said, it's just such a simple concept. It's a simple concept of moose and a squirrel. I remember there's a line in Stripes where his girlfriend says, "You drive your cab a couple hours, then you come home, you watch Rocky and Bullwinkle, and then you listen to Tito Puente all day long." Hey, one of these days, Tito Puente is going to be dead, and you're going to be saying, I always thought he was a genius.
Flintstone Kids, yeah, I remember that one.
I used to watch cartoons like that the day after parties because you're hungover and you don't want to watch anything complicated.
Exactly.
Hey, Scott, how you doing? Did you have Pinky in the Brain and all that kind of stuff over there, Steve?
Don't remember. I might have.
Animaniacs.
Brave Star. That was a cool one.
That's
Bush-
Cowboys on Mars, right, or something like that.
Yeah.
Native American lead, actually.
How you doing, Scott? You having a good day?
Silverhawks. There's another one.
Oh yeah, I'm doing all right. Silverhawks, I love that show.
Silverhawks.
That was great. You guys talk about Mask?
Oh,
Mask,
man.
Mask Crusaders working overtime.
Yeah.
I'm actually looking at a Norwegian online store, and I'm thinking of buying the complete Mask series right now. I'm looking at it. It's $25.
So underrated.
Okay, here's a fun game we can play possibly. I don't know if half you guys even knew some of these things were animated shows at one time or not. But they had this thing in the 80s where, of course, movies, they started making into TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get some copyright strikes. But hey, you know what? We got enough super chats. I'm not worried about it. Here's one.
I'll remember this.
Oh, Teen Wolf, yeah.
I was a big fan. Big fan.
Die if anyone sees me like this.
Hey man, say don't be shy.
Yeah.
This
This is
aired right
MGM.
before the Back to the Future cartoon show.
Yeah.
Party.
Remember the wrestling cartoon?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Hulk
yeah.
Hogan wrestling.
That one was fun.
I don't
Did
know.
you remember a cartoon show called, I think it was Pro Stars with Wayne Gretzky,
Yes.
Bo Jackson, and Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody remembers this. They had a Little Shop of Horrors animated show.
No, I don't remember that one.
Oh,
Yeah, I do remember that one. That was short though.
Yeah, it didn't last long.
Oh my god, this is nightmarish.
It was not good. It was horrible.
Yeah.
And Audrey too rapped all the time. See,
Oh, for God's sake.
it's weird that you bring this up. There is a character very much like this in the Harley Quinn show named Frank that talks to Poison Ivy, and he's pretty outrageous.
Remember a show? Well, it was a cartoon, but it was about it had Dracula, Frankenstein, and some other classics. I think a mummy was in there.
Oh, was that the Funky House of Frankenstein or something like that from the 70s? Live action?
No, it wasn't live action. It was a cartoon.
Oh. Okay.
I remember like a wolf man, a mummy, vampire, but I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah.
There was a Three Stooges cartoon.
Oh yeah.
oh yeah, there was lots of those. Yeah.
There were a couple of other series that they tried. I mean, obviously they were toy lines, but they
Here's the
tried.
one that I remember that I was telling everybody about.
Who's the most mischievous kid on the block? It's Junior, the world's most popular problem child, and he's back.
What the hell? You're kidding me.
Multiple
This
mates
kid-
and 4 never before released video favorites.
He has a better haircut in the
Problem
cartoon
Child,
than in the movie.
The animated series.
Right?
There was, but I was about to say though, there were a couple of
Everybody remembers RoboCop, right?
Oh, yeah, I remember this one.
Definitely.
Officer Alex J. Murphy and his partner.
Go ahead, Rob. Sorry.
But there were a couple series though that they tried, and obviously it was like Hasbro or whatever that they tried to turn into franchise. It was like Visionaries
Oh yeah.
and the Inhumanoids was another one. They tried desperately to get make it Visionaries into some sort of franchise, and it just didn't take. I remember part of it. They sort of this marrying of technology and mysticism, because they had Merlin, they had these Knights of the.
Were you thinking of Groovy Ghoulies?
Yeah.
Everybody shout, shout. Come on, let's get out. It's time for the Ghoulies get together.
And then we
Does
got
anybody remember? Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say, does anybody remember Bionic 6?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sister Harold sent us Australian $10, Rob.
Thank you, Sister Harrow. Where's my didgeridoo? Time for being rebellious on copyright strike. Has anybody mentioned Roger Ramjet? No, we haven't mentioned that yet.
I remember Roger Ramjet.
I got to say, Rob, you're getting really good at that. You've been practicing
What?
whatever that instrument is, because it just sounds
The
really good.
didgeridoo?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've practiced it, but then
Well, you got time. I mean, everybody's in lockdown.
That's
Did
why
you
he's not
guys-
getting any work done.
Did you guys have a Super Ted over there? It's an English cartoon, I think, about a teddy bear who was super.
We had Teddy Ruxpin and the Raccoons.
Yeah, I don't think we had Super Ted though. Mr. Another sends us a $2 super chat. And you remember Toxic Avenger and Rambo cartoons? Yeah, I was going to actually bring up the Rambo ones, but since you already mentioned it. Yeah, Toxic Avenger was another weird one. Then, of course, you had the Karate Kid. This one wasn't horrible.
If Cobra Kai incorporates any of the adventures from that show into theirs, that would be way crazy.
I mean, it was different than the movies, but yeah.
Yeah. Did anyone see the Super Dave Osborne cartoon show?
Yes.
In the, mid to late 90s.
Oh yeah. Speaking of Saturday morning cartoons and that trivia thing, whoa, we lost.
Do we lose Scott?
We lost Scott. He sounded like he was using his phone or something, so maybe he got dumped out. Highlander, the animated series, yeah, that was weird.
That one took place like in the future, right?
Yeah, I think so. There he is. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, the whole trivia thing. We wanted to do that, Rob. Here's a trivia question for everybody: who sang the theme song to Pee-wee's Playhouse?
Wasn't the B-52s?
Close, but no.
I was going to say the same thing. Talking Heads? No, just kidding.
Oh man, I can't. I mean, I know I can hear the lyrics, but like I can't put a name to it.
Somebody got it in the chat already.
Oh, Cyndi Lauper. Oh shit!
Oh my god! Did you guys talk about Hanna-Barbera yet?
No, but those are always good ones, of course.
Oh, Space Ghost and Birdman.
Well, not just
like
Rob and I. Yeah, Rob and I are always talking about Flintstones and Jetsons and shit. So
I just used to love the Herculoids. They had like a rhino that shot things out of his horn, and they had the two blobs that. That was great.
Yeah, Cindy also did the song for Goonies.
Gleep and Gloop.
Yeah, exactly. Did anybody check out that live stream Zoom with all the Goonie cast recently?
No, I heard about it though. Yeah, I do know what you're talking about. How'd that go?
Wondering if anybody, because there were, a lot of I didn't get to see the whole thing yet, so I was wondering if anybody watched the whole thing, because they said they brought up that if anybody was interested in a Goonies 2, and they all, of course they're all going to say yes, but please don't. That's all I'm asking.
They've been wanting to for so long. It's never gonna happen.
Yeah, no.
Unless they do a Goonies 2 with Thanos.
There was a thing for a while where they were going to do something with their kids, but that's the problem. They're all getting old enough to be grandparents now. Here's one I don't know if anybody knew existed. It never got made. Yeah, it was only one episode.
Remulac.
What is this?
This is Coneheads from the Saturday Night Live sketch.
Your way to a remote solar system on the frontier and sees a tiny planet inhabited by inferior beings who call themselves humans.
Battletoads.
Using these humans as a slave labor force, you will establish a minor protoid refueling station for my massive fleet of star cruisers on their way to mine the aura clouds of Glang.
But yeah, it's got Dan Aykroyd.
Did Jane Curtin come back?
I think so.
So they just took this pilot and be like, hey, let's just turn it into a movie.
Kinda, yeah. It's got a very, very similar plot. Yeah, even Lorraine Newman did the daughter's voice here. Yeah, I don't know how it never made it to. It just only got. Yeah, it never got sold. How it never had. And Rankin and Bass did the fucking animation and shit. I don't know why it never got made. Oh, we got 2 super chats here, Rob.
Hold on. One moment.
I just seen your BRB.
William Sova, $2. Anyone ever seen Super Mario Brothers show? I think.
Oh yeah, Super Show.
Yeah, Mario had like 3 cartoon shows.
Yes,
he had the
he
one
did.
with the live action in between, and then 2 different cartoon ones.
And we got another one from Mr. Another. When is DC live action Wonder Twin film?
Oh boy.
Didn't they do something?
Somebody
with
actually. Somebody tried they just did like an art, like a fan art of that one time, and
with Donnie and Marie Osmond.
Yeah. New dark and gritty Wonder Twins or whatever,
I thought somebody said
he
something about they were brought into that new.
I think they were alluded to in that crossover on the CW with all the DC shows.
What were you going to say, Scott?
No, I'm just like a grittier Wonder Twins. Can you just like, I'm so angry, I'm water. Like what? Come on.
Angry water.
Well, one form of water, and the other one's form of like squirt gun, and then the Flash has to pump it up super fast so he get the maximum pressure so that they can cut through steel.
Don't forget, she can only turn into like animals, but they could be animals of any world. So, but it was like, is he like, I'm angry snow, I'm coming at you, like, come on.
Of course, I've heard of the Elf cartoons. There was 2 of them actually. And then there, the Somerset Strikers. Doesn't sound familiar to me though.
Oh, there's also
I don't remember that one. And I watched a lot. Like, go ahead, buddy.
Have you heard of the Smoggies?
Is that one that had like a environmental thing behind it?
A little bit, yeah. Like these little tiny creepy Cabbage Patch Kids looking characters.
It sounds familiar, yeah.
We're on an island, and then there's someone like polluting their air or something. I was on before Dennis the Menace cartoon.
Ah, okay. Yeah, it kind of sounds familiar. But yeah, Banana Man from UK. I don't think I've heard of it. Yeah.
Remember Popeye?
Oh yeah, Popeye had a lot of.
That was fun.
Ones.
We had a Popeye comics up in Norway. Sold them from holy crap! Those stuck around for a long time. Probably started in the 40s or 50s. They kept going all through the 80s, really.
Well, I don't know if they were just collections of the daily comics or if they were an actual comic book or not, but yeah.
It was an actual comic.
Well, because then like King Features licensed out, because like Fleischer Studios or whatever had the license for Popeye for years and years and years. And then Hanna-Barbera did like Popeye and Son, and then there was another Popeye cartoon I think they did in the late 70s, and they couldn't use Bluto, and that's where they started using Brutus or something like that for his name. And then so there was a lot of different Popeyes over the years. Quite a few of them are actually on Amazon.
Yeah, there was some. For the very short time, they had Popeye right before Mighty Mouse.
I think that was either the late 70s or the. Go ahead.
Yeah, can you tell me, Tom? Tell me, because you guys probably already talked about it, but there was I don't know if he was Mr. Elastic, Mr. Stretch, but he wore like Elvis glasses. And then,
Plastic Man.
He was the Plastic Man. I used to love that one too.
How come Dr. Detroit never got a cartoon, I wonder? Mr. Another, and not for lack of trying. If the movie was a hit, it probably would have found a way. I mean, considering that like no R-rated movie, I'm surprised I'm sure they were trying to get like an Alien cartoon made, because otherwise they wouldn't have had a toy line for it. But I'm sure that just reached a point because Rambo got chastised enough. And the funny thing is there was less violence in Rambo than there was in G.I. Joe, because they went by G.I. Joe. They would try to make sure they were just that, and they would never go to the extent that G.I. Joe would go with the violence. And even though they did that much, they still got more flack than G.I. Joe just because it was Rambo.
Yeah, even the Conan cartoon series didn't have a whole lot of violence. It was like swords made out of meteorites that would then weaken your enemies and send them back to a dimension or something like that.
I do remember the Spaceballs cartoon. It was
that 15 years ago?
Poor. Really shitty Flash animation. The only good episode was the first one, and that was because it was a flashback to young Dark Helmet, and it was like a ripoff of episode or a parody of episode 1.
Yeah,
and,
the cartoon style and animation for the Droids cartoon in the 80s was better than Spaceballs.
And that drove me nuts because even as a kid, I was like, the mechanics of this doesn't work. Like R2 and 3PO are way too motherfucking animated. They're droids. That even bothered me as a kid. And the Ewok cartoon was great until they changed it to that cutesy wootsy shit in the next season or whatever. And they changed everything about it.
Did the Ewok cartoon have the I guess smuggler with the ponytail in it, or is that Droids? I can't remember.
That was Droids.
Okay.
And Droids had like 3 different stories, I think, in one season, and that only had one season. Ewoks, they had the original Ewoks, which is a little darker version, which is closer to the Return of the Jedi Ewoks, and kind of like, I think that was kind of more of a takeoff on the Ewok movies, because then that was the one that had the Ewoks, that one. And then they did a new version of it. I can't remember how that theme went, but they like lightened up all the colors, and they made what's her face, the girl Ewok, more of the focal point. Because I'm assuming that girls were obviously bigger on Ewoks at the time. Do you guys remember that? When they changed it over from the darker version of the Ewoks, and then like Wicket was like in a green hoodie or something like that now instead of the dark tan, and he had a different voice and shit, I think.
No.
It was just for like the last season of the show, but Mr. Another sent us another $2, Rob.
Mr. Another. Anyone who remembers Thunder? Yeah, I remember Thunder. I remember D&D. D&D, Willie Ames, he was one of the voices on D&D. Donnie Most is also one of the voices.
Subway Boy, Jeff is here.
What's up, gangs? Here you guys talking about some sexy Ewoks. Is that right?
A little bit. Okay. I got the 2. Okay, I see the 2 different intros here. Let me see here.
Does anybody remember? It was only a miniseries, Sectars.
Kinda sounds familiar.
No idea.
No, that's not ringing a bell for me.
Okay, here was the original version.
Yeah, that's the one I watched.
The hell?
Oh, this is bringing back nightmares.
Like Care Bears?
And then here's when they changed it. They made it more cutesy, see? They made him all lighter, and yeah, he's got like a green sash now, and the girl's a little bit more of the focal point.
Looks like Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Yeah, see, now that's not the version. I like the other version they changed it.
Was that Darkheart or whatever the heck his name? No Heart from Care Bears trying to hurt him?
It was a lot like that.
Seriously.
Jeff's got a bounce though, or I mean Scott.
No.
Sorry.
Well, this Jeff, not the real Jeff.
Yeah, it's a joke.
Thanks, guys, for having me on. Thanks for having me on, but I'm watching my kids right now. I have a sand fight, so I got to break it up.
Okay.
All
right. Take
Oh,
care,
guys,
brother.
have a good night. Yeah. All right.
So Jeff, the real Jeff, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Just got off work. Another slow day, and you guys know we got Subway grocery now. You ever hear of that?
No.
What comes to mind when you hear Subway grocery?
You buy the meats and you make the sandwich yourself.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of it. Like this guy ordered like 5 loaves of bread and a pack of Chipotle, 1 full bag of lettuce. It's like 5 pounds, and I had like 6 green peppers, and that was it.
That's a pretty plain sub.
Yeah, and then I just give it. I put it in a box and go, here you go. and that's it. So that's a fun new thing we got.
Interesting.
I don't know. It's kind of funny.
Well, I
Let's go see how
appreciate
many
the
copyright claims we
accommodation.
got.
But I tried a bagel for like the first time in forever. It was like a bagel sandwich. I don't even know what you'd call it, but it had a Reuben meat, which I never had Reuben before, and Swiss cheese. It was pretty good.
Ooh, pastrami.
No claims yet, but we got limited. That's a plus.
Is my sandwich talk too dirty for YouTube?
No, we were watching cartoons and stuff before you got.
Oh,
in.
right.
Maybe show a clip from like Cadillacs and dinosaurs.
Was that a thing?
Yes.
Yes, that was totally a thing.
That sounds like a commercial to sell Toyotas, like or Cadillacs.
Sounds like a country song.
What? I'm gonna look this up. I don't believe you.
Yep, Cadillacs and dinosaurs.
Dreams are made, Cadillacs and dinosaurs. Who could ask for more?
Oh my! Oh, there's a game. It looks no cartoon. What?
Yep. Then there was
what the
biker
hell?
mice from Mars.
Oh god, they have a full episode on YouTube.
That's right, Thundercats Ho. Even though most people know this, the real Ghostbusters had to have the real in there because of the old Filmation Ghostbusters.
And there was also a live action version of that show too, wasn't there?
Well, that's what it was. Yeah, it was live action in the 70s. And then Filmation, they haggled around with the cost for the name to the point where Filmation gave in real cheap on giving Sony well, at that time it wasn't Sony, but Columbia the name. And they were under the assumption that they were going to get the cartoon rights to the show. And when they didn't, then they went with Deke. Filmation got pissed and quickly scrambled and did an animated version or sequel actually to that old show and got it on TV like literally a week before the real Ghostbusters got on screen. So they did everything they could to confuse the situation.
Oh yeah.
This dude in the chat says Samurai Pizza Cats, and I just looked that up. That is a thing.
Yes, it is. Oh,
Yes,
that
it
was
is.
off the Ninja
That's a
Turtle craze.
cartoon. What
You
the
got to
hell is
understand, Jeff, when the Ninja Turtles came out, they tried every last damn I think that's maybe why the Ninja Turtles endured and weren't the fad, because they had so many ripoffs of them that they just kind of all faded away, and the Ninja Turtles were the only things that remained, I think.
That's funny.
Mr. Another, here's one for you, Rob. $5. Speaking of cartoons, anyone wonder how Sam Kinison is the genie in Aladdin would be like? Or is it just me? Nothing against Robin Williams. I don't think that Disney would ever went that, but Rob, how would something like that sound?
Hey, where are you going? Where are you going, you little shit? All right, come back here. Come on. You gotta use your last wish to free me, okay? Gotta use your last wish to free me. Hey, all right, no,
You promised.
That's pretty good. I haven't heard of Kinison. Yeah.
Shit. I should have shot your ass in Tenang when I had the chance.
Very good.
No more getting in a 7-Eleven, you.
Has anyone ever seen the Defenders of Earth?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that like Captain Planet or something?
No, that is the Phantom, Flash Gordon, Mandrake, I think, and another guy.
Luther or something.
These all look like they're part of the same shows.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is like a team. This is a team up of some of the old pulp heroes and novels into superhero stuff.
Yeah,
I think somebody.
I had a video game based on that too.
What the? I think I've seen these guys around. I just didn't, they never had a name attached to them. Nice.
You've seen Cops, I assume, then.
Cops.
Like Bad Boys?
No, the cartoon.
Cartoon
it was
fighting
kind
crime
of
in a future time.
And C, it was an what was it? What's a COPS stood for something. It wasn't just.
Yeah, I think the PS was like police service and like.
Yeah, but it was like kind of like a futuristic almost kind of thing.
Yeah,
they actually had They actually had great toys for those.
Yeah, they had good. The show is actually really funny, and like one of the goons looked like a blonde John Travolta.
Oh my god.
Yeah, actually, exactly. Like if we were to do a live action of Cops, you get John Travolta to play Big Boss and the blonde goon. Like one version he's in a fat suit, the other one he's in a muscle suit.
Oh my god!
Like that's the red there. That would just sell it for me out right off the bat. Lawrence Fishburne as Bulletproof.
The Phantom was a huge comic up in Norway.
Oh yeah, Andre's a big fan of that. No, not to switch gears here. Are you a horror fan at all, Stieg?
Yeah.
Have you seen Dario Argento's Dracula?
Might have. It's a long time ago.
Oh, it's a newer movie, I guess.
Oh, never seen
I
it.
thought it was older too. It's got Rutger Hauer in it as Van Helsing, and I bought it and I didn't know. I thought it was like an old movie, and then I'm looking at the date on it, and it's like brand new. It's in 3D and shit. And I'm like, oh,
is it one of his Rutger Hauer's final movies?
I'm thinking so, because it was like dated. I mean, it's not brand new, but it's like not that old either. I mean, within the last few years. Nelson Sharetta sends us $2. Kinnison, dead or alive, you're coming with me.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
What's funny is that I'm more familiar with Kinnison than I am with any of these cartoons you guys have mentioned.
Well, before you got in here would have been the more interesting one for you, Jeff, because it started going through as movie cartoons that people didn't know existed for the most part, like Teen Wolf and what else did I do besides RoboCop and all them? Little Shop.
Yeah, I feel like I've never heard or seen any of these merchandise at all, or cartoons, or for toys, or anything. Like it just fully skipped me or my generation or my area. I don't know.
Well, by the time you were born, the difference is here's the thing: is like there was laws in place to where they couldn't have a toy based on a TV show or vice versa for years and years and years, and then they lifted that stipulation, and that's where He-Man and G.I. Joe and Transformers and all that kind of stuff came into being. And then the next thing in the 80s was all the hit movies they were trying to turn into cartoons. Oh, and we lost Script Doctor there.
No.
He might be having a hiccup. There he is. But yeah, so like so they were trying to do like all the, that kind of stuff. And then then the next gimmick was, like K-Mation said here, not only would they do movies, they would just turn around and get movie stars, and they would star in their own cartoons. Like John Candy had Camp Candy, and
like I feel like there must be some type of list somewhere, because like I know some old ones that are weird, but they weren't really cartoons. Like I know of some of the spin-offs from Japanese stuff, like Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad and stuff like that. But like these cartoons,
see, a lot of the stuff we're talking about would be way, way before your time for the most part.
And like if anything, I would see some stuff in like Goodwill bins as a kid, like toys that would be in there, and there's no label on them, and half of them are broken sometimes. But I'd get them and learn way later, no, they had a whole show and a cartoon and a movie and all these things. I'm just like, how the hell? Like,
yeah, Chuck Norris and Mr. T had their own cartoons.
What?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Jackie Chan had his own cartoon.
Oh, that I remember.
Does the lady from Progressive commercials have her own cartoon too? Like,
no, because otherwise Doomcock would blow his brains out, or push the button, one of the two. Thundercats. Oh yeah, I remember the Nintendo game, Captain N, and then they also had Zelda and stuff like that. Yeah.
They did the Zelda with the Super Mario Brothers thing, and then crap. Did anyone remember Dino Riders?
Yeah, somebody mentioned that before, but yeah. And then the Hammer cartoon, I remember that.
Is that like a spin-off to the Cadillac dinosaurs?
Nope, different thing.
Dino Riders. Okay. Oh, yep. God, another. They all look like they all look like they're from the same universe. I guess with the
there's definitely an aesthetic that was grown out of Star Wars, more or less, for a lot of the '80s cartoons. Wouldn't you say, Rob?
Yeah, probably Star Wars, and definitely Star Wars. Oh yeah, everyone. Well, because that was the most merchandisable. That was the model. They all wanted that piece of that sweet merchandising money. They all tried to copy that formula, but it was just never good.
The only one who got close and really kind of did it uniquely would probably be He-Man, and that's because they managed to merge Conan with Star Wars.
Yeah.
really well. Mr. Another sent us $5, Rob.
Mr. Another, Barbie. I always wanted to see Arnold Schwarzenegger as a live-action He-Man and Gilbert Gottfried as a live-action Skeletor.
Oh,
I'll get
did you guys know there was
Skeletor.
He-Man!
an
He-Man!
animated?
With the muscles and the riding the tiger. I don't.
Why the hell are you riding on a green tiger? Who the fuck rides a green tiger?
The blue one was at the shop.
At least my panther is purple.
The sorceress is a total bitch, let me tell you.
I will get Castle Grayskull if it's the last thing I do. Why don't you sound any more cliche? Yeah.
That's my wife's car. That's
my wife's car.
Bitch. Sidney Bernstein, you have 25 unpaid parking tickets. We have a one for your arrest.
That's my wife's car. Bitch. Look. What if there's something that I could put in this hand here that would make you forget about this thing you have in the other hand? Like this would just disappear. like what? Like if I had like $500 in this hand? Holy Christ! I'm robbing you. I love that bit.
That's a good bit.
That is a good one.
Oh,
is there something you could have in this other hand? Sorry, Steve. You were going to say something, man. I apologize.
Oh, it's perfectly okay. Did you guys know there was an animated Conan movie that got canceled?
Yes.
Had Ron Perlman and Mark Hamill doing the voice acting. It was
That
almost
part I
done
didn't know.
too.
But I think we used a shot of that in one of our mini doc or whatever you want to call them, Andre's things.
The exposés on the Conan, yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit, but I didn't know they were involved in it.
Oh, Conan's awesome.
Oh yeah. I hope we get King Conan one of these days.
Oh, that'd be so great to see King Conan.
Nelson Sharetta sent us $5, Rob.
Sorry, Arnold Schwarzenegger. No, King Conan. Notice in the 80s, notice in the 80s, they made RoboCop, Ewoks, Rambo cartoons, but we will never see a Star Wars cartoon starring Rey. No, we will. No.
Well, they already did that Galaxies thingy, Bobby.
Galaxy Adventures thing or whatever.
Yes.
That's just more retelling of events rather than its own.
But now, speaking of that cartoon, Steve, wasn't it you that brought to my attention that there was a character a lot like Jyn Erso in the Droids cartoon as well?
No, it's.
Or is that something else I see? No, you were talking about something else.
Yeah, they ripped off the Dark Forces storyline, which was a video game and a novel. It had a guy called Kyle Katarn steal the Death Star plans with Jyn Erso.
Yeah, and then I do remember now somebody else did a video because in the animated droids there was a girl, I don't remember her name, but her design was like exactly like Jyn Erso. And then they also had a character called Kybo Ben or something like that, or Kybo Ren or something like that. He was a bad guy. Yeah. Anyways,
Jan Ors actually looked identical to Jyn Erso, except she was Asian. So they had an Asian right there, but they whitewashed her. Just switched some letters around.
Yeah, they had Ace Ventura, The Mask, and Dumb and Dumber come out. And Ace Ventura was the only one that actually had the likeness rights for Jim Carrey, oddly enough. Parrot Head sent us $2, Rob. And yes, of course, we all remember the Who can forget the Smurfs, man? Weren't they Swiss?
Don't know.
Maybe.
I thought. No, wait, they're French. That's right. The creator was French. I couldn't remember if they were. I couldn't. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can learn. They speak French in Switzerland.
No, I'm trying. I just knew they originated in another country because they were like more of a. When they came over here, he had done like the little figurines. I think is how they started. The guy who created them. I can't think of his name. Anyway.
I remember 2 Johnny Quest shows, one from the 80s and one from the 90s, but was there one in the 60s?
Yeah.
Yeah, the original was in the 60s.
Famously, wasn't that one of the one-season Hanna-Barbera shows, Rob?
Yeah, it was. There's only like 25 episodes or something.
Yeah, see, there's a few shows that Hanna-Barbera did back in the day that only got one season, and that was Johnny Quest and the Jetsons, and I think one other one. I can't remember. I think Yogi Bear or something like that.
Because I definitely know that there was a single season Johnny Quest in the 80s. I'm trying to remember.
Part of the Fantastic World of Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah.
Yeah, the original Johnny Quest, the first season only ran, let's see, primetime.
Hey, y'all, that's who it was. And I guess Belgian. I apologize. I guess I'm wrong. And of course, yeah, Snorkels were the spin-off of the Smurfs. And of course, everybody remembers the Back to the Future animated series, Megan Goodnight. Thank you so much for the $2. Actually, if you bought the Flux Capacitor box set of the Blu-rays a couple years back, it came with the animated series, but I think you can buy the Back to the Future animated series separate now. So.
Wait. So what happens in that show?
It's actually kind of picks up where the movies leave off, yeah.
Yeah.
Do they go on an adventure with the kids on the train or something?
Yeah, they got the train, and then they don't explain where, but the DeLorean's back too.
Yeah, the DeLorean's back, the train's back. The kids are still creepy, just like how they were in the live action.
Yeah, but they all live in, like, evidently between 3 and the cartoon, the Browns decided to move back to 1985 or 86 or whatever year it takes place in, and it just kind of picks up from there. And it's a goofy kids show. Bob Gale was involved, so it's not horrible. They've got little intros and outros with Christopher Lloyd, but he doesn't do the voice. Dan Castellaneta, if I'm saying it right, from The Simpsons, who does Homer's voice, actually does Doc's voice. Doesn't do a bad job. Beetlejuice, that was a decent cartoon. That was a great cartoon.
God, yeah.
I got that.
That cartoon felt like it went on forever, but I think it only got a season 2, right?
No, I think it got 2 or 3, but yeah. See, the thing with Saturday morning cartoons is they would only get a short run of episodes per season. So like a 4 or 5 season run on a cartoon show on Saturday mornings would roughly only get maybe 40, 50 episodes, as opposed to like a daily show like Ninja Turtles that would run 6 days a week. There's like almost 500 fucking episodes of those.
Right, but the shorter ones being played once a week, sometimes skip a week or something, I assume.
Yeah. So like the ones that were for Saturday mornings, they were a little bit more higher end than the daily cartoons. They would usually either be, get a little extra money. They would sometimes even be animated at 24 frames instead of on the 2s, which, if you don't know what that is most cheap cartoons, they'll take, and instead of going 1 frame per 24 frames a second, they'll do 2 times. So, Rob, you know how to explain it better.
Yeah, they would cut the frame rate just to save money because
use the same picture twice.
Yeah. Use backgrounds if you ever noticed.
Yeah. Even modern cartoons start to do that now. I noticed it when I was editing some videos from the cartoons that I
Are they doing that as a stylistic choice now? Because that's almost, there's like no excuse.
I think one of the scenes that I pulled from the Venture Brothers, I've got like some of the raw stuff from it, and it's frame by frame. And yeah, they repeat the frames like maybe 3 or 4 frames like over and over within that 1 second. So it's really stretched out a lot longer than it is. And I think that's just because it's really expensive to animate the quality that they have for every individual frame. So they just repeat as many as they can to keep it in so that the models still look clean and good. But when you go to something like, I guess, like Thundercats, Ho, or what have you, that is just, it's cheap models so they can whip them off super quick so they can still maintain like the 24 frames per second.
Yeah, if you want to see what the difference is, look at like a Saturday morning or afternoon cartoon and then watch, like, if they have like a movie of it, like say watch DuckTales and then watch like the movie of DuckTales that they did.
Mm-hmm.
The movies is animated at 24 frames a second, but the old show's done on the 2s. So you can definitely tell the difference in the quality of the animation.
Right.
And then they had to bring this up, but surprisingly, Mecca's not here, so but she probably remembered this one.
Movies.
I remember this one.
What?
I think they used to fly on their shields that could like expand.
Oh my god, they have a theme song.
Hell yeah.
Oh my god, what the hell?
And it's what's his face from the Fat Boys doing the song too that was in the movies.
Bobcat Goldthwait cartoon really disrespects Bobcat Goldthwait.
Oh god, yeah, the voice is horrible. The guy they got doing Bobcat's voice was just probably because they couldn't even make it sound anything like him, or they would worry about.
Oh my god, this is awesome.
All right, well, Steeg's got to pop off here. I appreciate you stopping by, Steeg. You've been real quiet, but you know,
I've been making dinner in the background.
Oh, okay. Well, why don't you make me something? Damn it! I'll probably get some dinner once we get off here too. But take care, brother. We enjoy having you whenever we can, and
yeah,
always nice having the Norwegian persuasion on Midnight's Edge since that's where it originated.
Well, take care and be well, and have a good day, all of you. And thanks for having me on.
That's right. You freaking Norwegians are taking over because there's 2 of them now, like you said. So
yeah.
All right. Take care, brother.
Good night.
See ya.
Good night, Steeg.
So you guys are educating me a lot here on cartoons. Oh my god! Like I feel like I could do a random guess, and it probably has a cartoon. Like
you probably wouldn't be wrong. Just pick a famous 80s property that could lend itself well to toys and a cartoon, and it pretty much got made.
Well, these are ones I couldn't because Police Academy had like 7 or 8 movies. So like I'm like, why would they even? It would never come to me that they would make a cartoon. Did they make Ferris Bueller a cartoon?
No, that was one they didn't, but it did get a series.
Did they make like Tremors a cartoon?
No, but it did get a series.
Well, yeah, I'm aware of the series for that, definitely. Okay.
Ferris Bueller had Jennifer Aniston in that, or Michelle Pfeiffer, right? One of the 2.
Jennifer Aniston was in this TV series, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Jennifer Aniston played the sister part in the TV series of Ferris Bueller.
Wait,
they had a Bill and Ted cartoon and TV series.
Wait, they made a Ferris Bueller TV series.
Yep.
Yeah, when you said there was a cartoon, they didn't have a cartoon. Like I said, they had a TV series that ran for like half a season or so, or roughly.
I knew Tremors had a series. Ferris Bueller, no.
Yes, it did. It did have a series. It didn't last that long, but it did have a series. Yeah.
Oh my god! I'm just like, I think, what else could they do? What's the point? It's just
Dirty Dancing even had a series. Speaking of the sister.
Yep.
Oh my god. I was gonna say Lord of the Rings, but I know they had a cartoon movies.
They didn't, but there was the TV version of The Hobbit and Return of the King that were done. Surprisingly, they never had a Lord of the Rings cartoon, but I think that was something that maybe the Tolkien estate would never have let happen on like a Saturday morning kind of thing.
Right, but yeah, I know they did have the 2 episodes or 2 movies or cartoon ones, but did like Resident Evil have a cartoon?
No, that would have been way past the Saturday morning's due date. Yeah.
Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes did. Yep.
Yep.
They had a cartoon.
Yep.
Yes, they did.
I can't even imagine what that's like right now. Honestly.
It's actually kind of a mix between the old movies, of course, not the Tim Burton one or the newer ones.
5 movies in the old one?
The 5 in the original series. But what they did is they kind of took a few things from the original novel. Because in the original novel, have you seen the Tim Burton Planet of the Apes?
Is that the one with like Michael Clark Duncan?
Yeah, and Marky Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know how at the end when he gets back to what he thought was his time and everybody's apes, but they got like cop cars and helicopters and all that shit. In the original novel of Planet of the Apes, they actually live in like a society we do. So like the cartoon kind of they like fly helicopters and have trucks and cars and all that kind of shit. So they like update it for that portion of it. But other than that, it wasn't bad. It was all right. It was kind of a mix. And I think Roddy McDowall did a voice on that animated show too. Plus, they did a TV series of Planet of the Apes with Roddy McDowall.
Yeah, I remember that.
And those they still showed for years and years afterwards because they only did 1 season. But then they cobbled them together into TV movies and they showed them for a long time on like Sci-Fi and shit for years after. What was that, Ricky?
How'd they get the budget to do a Planet of the Apes show? Wouldn't they have to have all the different costumes and Like,
Well,
they're
that
out
was
in
why the
nowhere.
animated series was so much more loose. Like they could do so much more, and then the TV series it was kind of limited. Yeah, you're right. I mean, the series was good, but it had a lot of bottle episodes.
I imagine, 'cause, like, I'm just trying to imagine like the setting they had
Yeah,
for it seemed to be kind of out there, and then also in their suits, and then the amount of actors. Like, I just assumed back then that type of show was more difficult, but I could be wrong too. I don't know.
yeah. You had a lot more cheaper masks in the background than you did in the movies, obviously, and
I think they reused some like exterior shots from the films.
oh yeah, they would reuse some stuff, I think, or they at least have the same sets and shit. Because that's the thing. I think they shot the show either after or just between the last two movies or something like that. And then like for instance, one of the bottle episodes is like you got the one bad guy gorilla's trapped with the one guy in like this cave thing for a whole episode. So obviously the only person who's really in a lot of makeup is the bad guy.
Okay.
So you're, and then like the main, Roddy McDowell's always in makeup and stuff, but I mean, there's not nearly as many apes and shit here and there, and the humans talk, so it's a little different than the movies.
They're all silent. They change the rules a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. So it's kind of like a little bit like closer to Tim Burton's version where humans talk, but yeah. Well, there was a best little whorehouse in Texas cartoon. Whatever, Black Phoenix. I
Somebody
wish.
said Bill and Ted.
They did do Bill and Ted, and they did a live action Bill and Ted series too.
What? Are you serious?
I'm serious.
I can't. Like, no one in my life has.
Now, the first season of the Bill and Ted series, I highly recommend.
Who's in them?
In the original Bill and Ted animated cartoon, Keanu Reeves, Alex Winter, and George Carlin came back to do the voices.
But like, you said they did a TV series, like
in
a
the
live
TV
action.
series, it's completely different people. Yeah.
Like, is it a different universe story?
No, it's just horrible.
I've never. Okay, like I guess
I'll show you here.
I shouldn't be so baffled, but like no one in my life has ever mentioned these other ones. I mean, you guys know how little I've seen of like popular stuff, but like Jesus, I've never heard of any of these as TV shows or cartoons. Like, it's crazy. It's blowing my mind right now.
Well, you've heard of like Darkwing Duck, right?
I have heard of that only in the last like 2 years. Somebody was listing. I was watching one of those like top 10 cartoons or something, and that was on one of those lists.
And as you can see here, this show did not last long. They literally were able to fit all the episodes in 3 hours. But yeah, as you can see, it's kind of the same setup. And
Excellent names of Bill and Ted.
but you can tell whoever did this show probably had no real clue what they were doing.
Yeah, it's got that weird science TV show vibe, but not quite.
Green screen.
Scores are way up. Mini golf scores are way down. And we have more excellent water slides than any other planet we communicate with. Although Destiny could have taken a most heinous turn,
that was a stolen shot from Ghostbusters.
Probably stock shot. That's from the movie. These are from the movie.
Yeah.
And the guy they got playing Rufus is horrible.
God, they don't look anything like them.
Yeah, they're bad. Anyway, now the animated series is much better. The second season it went downhill though, because they don't have the same voice actors and shit though.
I'm trying to imagine the mindset of the time. So, okay, we just made a movie. It's like the filmmakers and writers and everything, they made their movie and it's great. Now,
like, see, as you can hear, this is George Carlin.
The destiny of the two great ones, Bill
well, that's good.
And Ted.
Wild Stallions rule.
And that's Keanu and Alex. This first season of this show is actually really fucking good. I mean, yeah, it's a little kiddie, but they did a really great job. It's got good animation.
They invent baseball.
Yeah, like they go through like in every time they gotta, it's the basic sound concept is the movie. They got some kind of assignment they got to do, and instead of doing the homework, they actually go to wherever and screw something up, and then they got to fix it by the end of the show. But yeah, this first season of this was actually really, really fucking good and underrated. I don't want to show too much because it's MGM and they'll nail us for sure.
Oh my gosh, yeah! Now I got more things I got to try to watch because this is crazy.
But the second season it got really bad because they went from ABC to Fox, I think it was, or vice versa.
Yeah.
No, I think it was vice versa because then when they went to ABC, it got a lot more lighter and goofier. like the
More
comedy bits and
patronizing.
stuff. Yeah, and obviously not the same voices and all that kind of stuff anymore. So it was like really bad.
Yeah, well, it's like so in the 80s, was this like just an 80s 90s thing, or was this before times? I'm just trying to imagine. So the making a movie, you're trying to make something to entertain and trying to make money, but then do the producers or the writers go, gee, let's make more, or is it the marketers that make them like think of these different spin-off things of the cartoons and live action shows? Like, oh, okay,
Oh, that's weird. Maybe he got the same thing I had a bit earlier.
Possible.
Yeah, like really, it's just someone comes up with, hey, can we make this as in a cartoon show, and how cheap can we do it? And they do
Sometimes it's the producer, sometimes it's the company that owns them, sometimes it's the people who own the property. It all depends on who owns what. Like for instance, I'm sure the reason Bob Gale was so invested into the animated series of Back to the Future and Dan Aykroyd was so invested into the animated series of Ghostbusters is because they own part of the property. You know what I mean? But then like something like Teen Wolf was just happened to be owned by the studio that owned it, Embassy or whatever. So they just commissioned a cartoon.
Yeah, the first 2 seasons of the real Ghostbusters are amazing because they have original music for every episode, and it all feels like it fits within the film. Like the music and tone kind of fits within the film a little bit. It doesn't get as blue as the film does. But then after that, I think they changed production houses, and seasons 3
what happened was
7 are
ABC
changed.
got involved. Because Ghostbusters was another one of those like Ninja Turtles where they had a 6-day-a-week deal. There was only a couple shows that had one of those, and that was one of them. And that means they would show an episode every day in syndication, and then ABC had their own version on Saturdays. And again, I think that's another good where I think the ABC Saturday ones might have been 24 frames a second because they actually had higher quality animation on the Saturday shows. But then this family something or other person come in and took over all the family entertainment shit on ABC and totally changed Ghostbusters. And so the ABC and that's why Lorenzo Music is no longer in later seasons. They had Dave Coulier.
Yeah.
And some other business that happened, even though that's blamed on
Lorenzo
Bill Murray,
left after season 4.
But I think it had more to do with that. And it was later seasons. Yeah.
I think it was only Maurice LaMarche who did Egon, and Arsenio Hall who did Winston were the only ones that stayed.
It was called Q5. It was a consulting firm. Thank you, Shin Psyche Evan.
Right, yeah.
They were some stupid consulting firm, and they basically destroyed the fucking show. Magna Knight gave us $2. How in the world did George Carlin become Mr. Conductor? That's a very good fucking question.
He was actually in a massive amount of tax debt, and then it was a job that was offered to him, and he took it.
Well, I know. I think it's more so like, and how did they even think of him?
He's a very good storyteller.
He is. I mean, but no, at the time he was definitely not known for his family entertainment. That's for sure.
That is true. Yeah.
Wait, he was in a family thing?
Thomas the Tank Engine?
Yeah, for a couple of years.
Oh, the conductor. I was like, the what?
Yeah, Ringo Starr, then George Carlin, and then Alec Baldwin for a little bit.
Yeah, the 90s, everything was extreme.
Did they have him like, they honk the stack whenever he curses or something?
No, but George Carlin did do stand-up material about his time as Mr. Conductor.
Yeah.
God,
didn't he get fired for one of the jokes he did in stand-up or something like that? Or did he just quit?
No,
I can't remember.
his contract was up. As far as I
quit.
know.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then they brought in Ringo. Yeah, I remember the Friday animated series. Kind of. It was.
Somebody said there was a Godzilla animated series.
Oh yeah, there was a couple of them.
And they said,
and Evolution. There's also an Evolution animated series.
I'm trying to imagine that because they said it's like the baby from the Matthew Broderick movie. Like there's like one that an egg that survived and that one becomes it. And
it is. And you know what happened? Yeah, well, the TV series based on the Matthew Broderick one is actually what we would have gotten in Godzilla 2.
It's like, does it talk? Like, I don't.
No, but it kind of. Go ahead.
I know. Go ahead. I'm just confused on how you can make a Godzilla cartoon show. Like, I have no idea what and how and why. Like,
It just goes to show you that they actually had a great idea that they were going to jump off that first movie from, but it just didn't happen because the movie was so ill received. Because that TV series is based on the sequel concept.
That was Roland Emmerich did that one, right?
Yeah, yeah. There's actually somebody did a great YouTube video out there where they break it all down about how they repurposed the script for the sequel into the series. Yeah.
Okay.
Because the sequel then was supposed to be about one of the eggs they find, and then Matthew Broderick's character, the baby imprints on him because when it's hatched, he's the first thing it sees. So,
so it ends up palling around with him or something?
Yeah. So like insists on sleeping next to him. So there's this whole bit in the first part of it where he's stuck with this baby constantly, and then of course he knows that the government's coming to kill the baby, so you have the whole "get away from me, you stupid thing" moment, and the baby gets sad and jumps in the water.
Right, of course.
But then of course a year or two later, whatever, baby's full grown and causing issues, so they think, and it's this whole business where they keep blaming Godzilla's baby when it's actually this other Motu, and so then it goes through the whole story and sad business and stuff like that. Well, then, but what's funny is that when they find Godzilla, she is on an island somewhere and she's got babies. And so, of course, as soon as she sees Matthew Broderick, she gets all excited. So they treat it's kind of like this, long lost puppy kind of story with the Godzilla, but it gets sad because they get attacked. And you think Godzilla dies and all her babies die, but one survives, and then Godzilla ends up coming back, and you find out that he didn't get killed or she didn't get killed, whatever. Godzilla 2. But yeah, it was actually kind of a unique story, and it brought all the original characters back. It even had the French how do you say his name? How do you say it? Renaud?
Jeannot Rene or something like that?
That's it. Thank you.
It's did they did a lot of people not like the Matthew Broderick Godzilla because it just was so different from the original Godzilla stuff?
It was trying to be an Independence Day take on Godzilla.
The biggest issue also was that Godzilla looked nothing like Godzilla.
Yeah,
that was everybody. Right. It was more like the T-Rex, and they changed a bunch of Godzilla's powers,
right,
and all that other stuff. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, I can understand that too, but I mean, from what I've seen, it looks like there's a lot of different looking Godzillas. So I have no idea.
To a point, yeah, but they went so extreme with this, and the other thing is the way the movie was marketed. It was marketed like E.T. and stuff was, to where in Gremlins, where they didn't show Godzilla. They did this big lead up, big, huge lead up. And they were even, because I think Lost World came out the year before. Yeah. And so they had the one of the first trailers for it was you had these kids walking into a museum with a T-Rex skull. And they're like, this is the Tyrannosaurus Rex and blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden you hear, and everybody starts running and screaming. And then this big foot comes down through the whole glass ceiling and it crushes the T-Rex skull to show that Godzilla's foot is bigger than the T-Rex. And that's all we got to see for the longest time was its foot and tail. That was it. Even the famous Taco Bell scene commercial with "Here, lizard, lizard, lizard," where he's trying to catch him with some tacos. That's all we got to see was his feet and his tail. Yeah. So we had no idea what the creature was going to look like until the day the movie dropped.
So it was a lot of a disappointment from anticipation.
Kind of. And then actually, this is the first time I remember something like this leaking on the internet. I do remember a week or two before the movie came out, some toy thing leaked online. And everybody was it was Underoos. Underoos leaked it. And because they lost their license with it. And everybody's like, no, this can't be real. They can't have made Godzilla look like. We were all bitching on the internet. And there wasn't a Facebook or nothing yet then. This was all between forums and IMDb and stuff. And so the picture of Godzilla leaked out and everybody's like, oh, it'll look better because it's in the movie. It's all cartoony because it's on kids' underwear. We're all trying to make reasons for it.
Okay. No, I can understand that then, I suppose. But I wouldn't say it's a great movie either, but I thought it was fine for what it was. And for the toy quality, I did get one of its toys, I think, out of a Goodwill bin, I think. And it was actually an okay toy, for what it was. It wasn't horrible. So.
If they would have made Godzilla look a little bit more like Godzilla and maybe gave him some more of the regular Godzilla powers, it possibly could have been a better movie. But on top of that, some of the characters are just unwatchable. Like Matthew Broderick's girlfriend is just
Oh yeah, I agree completely.
a horrible character.
Get rid of her. Just keep Hank Azaria.
Yeah, you keep all the Simpson actors.
The French dude was all right.
Yeah, Jean Rene or whatever, however you say his name.
Like, I think that Matthew Broderick and the French dude make a good combo because Broderick's so stale, and then the other guy is just like annoyed, kind of. He's always like, he's always showing him stuff, and he's like, I don't know, it just seemed like a good dynamic for the little time they had.
Well, what's funny is when they made the movie, Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin, they set out not to make a remake of Godzilla, but to just do their own thing on the same concept. And what's funny is I don't think they even watched the original or probably avoided. They may have seen them when they were kids or whatever, but they probably avoided them when they went to work on this. But it's so weird how their story got so close to the original version of this. It's kind of similar in a lot of ways. There's a lot of similarities to where it's like it almost is still a remake. So I think that's another possible problem that some people have with it. It was like, it's like if you're going to do it, just do it. If not, just I don't know. I don't hate it.
Is it similar to like when they adapt like anime from over there, and it's like Dragon Ball Evolution was like a God forbid like horrible, you don't know anything about what the show is at all adaptation? Is that kind of like Godzilla kind of in a similar area with that stuff?
Not really. Maybe because here's my thing is what I'm saying is like the way the humans act and all the story surrounding it is pretty much a Godzilla story. And the only complaints that I remember hearing from people at Toho, however you say it, and like the original, one of the original costume actors walked out of the original screening notoriously and said that's not Godzilla, because they made him this agile T-Rex / raptor kind of thing. I think that's the problem that most people had with Godzilla. Godzilla is supposed to be this lumbering, massive.
It's unbeatable, but kind of like it's the scary but friendly. Is it supposed to be friendly? Like I don't actually kind of.
Well, it changed. Well, here's the thing: the original Godzilla, the whole lesson of it was supposed to be the effects of the Hiroshima bombing and the fear of the nuclear bomb. So, like the original films were meant to be dead serious and scary. It wasn't until the '60s that Godzilla became this like hero.
Okay,
like a little bit of a comedic thing.
I've seen the ones where like he's got a kid, and then like where he's like bouncing around and fighting these. I don't know. Like I've seen so many different odd glimpses, but I've never seen a full original version. I don't even know what's original really with it because it seems to go back so far, and like I'm so confused on its lore.
We got to get to the super chat here though. Boag sends us Mexican $50. I think that is
Mexican. Oh wow, Mexican. Let me see.
Olay!
Extreme Ghostbusters, Men in Black, Godzilla, all the same studio. Godzilla series had it actually fighting monsters, and Godzilla had all its powers.
Right, and that's what I was saying. Is like that's what they were trying to build up to in the sequels. So it would have actually been more like Godzilla than they thought. But anyway, go ahead.
There was another Godzilla animated series in the very early 80s, maybe late 70s, early 80s.
That was the Hanna-Barbera one, I think. Yeah.
Team of scientists and Godzilla they kind of would they would call me, help them out.
Yeah, that one wasn't too bad. Mr. Another sent $5. I think a better Godzilla for that movie would have been Sam Kinison in a dino costume. This fucking building.
Well, he already's got the scream down.
Yeah.
So.
Fire breath.
Yeah,
that's pretty funny.
Oh, I don't want to do it right now because I have to get really loud.
Fuck my building. Fuck this building's in my way.
Sorry if I kind of derailed the conversation with the Godzilla.
No, that's fine. We didn't really have much to talk about before that. Matt, and we actually gained a few viewers. So Matt G sent us $5. I saw Godzilla 98 in the theater twice. One of those was with riff tracks, LOL. Godzilla 98 was actually one of my few times I went to a drive-in, I believe, and then I did see it in the theater as well. I actually saw it a couple I didn't hate it when it came out. I kind of liked it. I don't know. Oh, Captain Robert April, One Crazy Summer is a classic. What were you going to say?
Riff tracks.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, riff tracks is kind of like, it's the guys from Mystery Science Theater 3000. And they basically do what they did on that show, but it's just them as straight comedians. They don't do the
Okay.
characters.
Okay.
They just sit there and you watch the movie with them, and they talk over the movie like they did in the old shows. Yeah,
Or like a commentary, kind of.
yeah, kind of, but they do the goofy stuff. Like you've seen Mystery Science Theater 3000, right?
No.
You've never heard of that? You don't know what it is?
I've heard of it, but I don't really get what it is. When people say that, I think of like a skit science show, but I don't really.
It kind of is. And then what they'll do is they'll watch goofy old movies, and then they'll make fun of them as they're watching them.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it's
They'll do goofy voices over it, and just like say, just random throw stuff up there. Like if somebody says, I'll be right back. It's like, no, you won't. You're going to get killed by the monster. Just something stupid like that.
They started that trend. I've seen like copies of that type of thing.
Oh yeah. It's been heavily copied since then, but to the point where they, like I said, they're kind of doing their own thing again, but it's just them as themselves instead of the characters kind of thing. So yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I remember Beanie and Cecil and the C6 Serpent. C6 Sea Serpent. Yeah.
Did they make a Beanie Babies movie or cartoon or something?
Surprisingly, I don't think so.
Like, because they thought that was going to be a hit.
But pretty much otherwise, anything that was a toy from 1982 to 1995 was made into a cartoon show. Even probably later than that. See, the thing was with Saturday mornings was it used to be that television, they had to have a certain amount of hours blocked away for children or entertainment or educational entertainment. And so they started using Saturday mornings as an excuse for that. And that's why at the end of like He-Man and G.I. Joe and that, and you'd have like, today we learned, that kind of crap, so they could get away with it.
Okay.
So then it like got to a point where then when like, wow, Rob, you got me bouncing back at myself here. What are you doing?
I'm not doing anything.
That was weird. It quit doing it, but for a second there, I had my voice coming back at me. Like then when they started having channels like Fox Kids and Cartoon Network and all that stuff, the need for that kind of went out the window. So I don't think they had to do it anymore as much. So then Saturday mornings kind of died. They just kind of went away. But that used to be like the main time for kids to catch all these cartoons from like 6 a.m. till noon basically. 1 o'clock in the afternoon sometimes.
Yeah, I'll kind of admit, even myself, like, I was born in the mid 90s, and I think like Saturdays weren't typically that big a deal for us.
Yeah, it started dying out because you guys had Cartoon Network, you had
like there was some shows
Boomerang.
that would play on Saturdays, sure, like new Power Rangers or new.
I was gonna say, I think Fox carried it on till its death in early 2000s.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because like there was some shows that would play only on Saturdays, but for the most part, yeah, they kind of do reruns a lot.
But it was kind of set up for the, you had the afternoon stuff that kind of started creeping in the mid 80s.
Yeah.
But like otherwise though, that was like the only time that us kids had something to watch. Other than Sunday nights, we had like The Wonderful World of Disney and shit.
The Wonderful World of Disney.
No, I'm not kidding, man. Like when you only have 4 networks or 3 networks and a couple cable channels, there ain't shit to watch, dude.
Was that the name of a show?
What?
Yeah, Wonderful World of Disney.
Yeah, it was like they would just show all kinds of different stuff. Sometimes it was documentaries, sometimes it was making of how they did this or that, sometimes it was a movie.
Okay, cool. I thought that was like another cartoon.
No, well, sometimes they would show cartoons. They would show like a lot of like sometimes they would show clusters of the old Disney cartoons. Like that's how a lot of us kids got introduced to the old Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck cartoons and shit like that.
Okay.
Yeah, like before video, or then when video would come in, they would just do collections. But like, yeah, it was just like a collection, and it was ran for the longest time on ABC. I think it even started back when Disney was still alive, didn't it?
Oh yeah, in the 60s, yeah. Yeah.
He used to actually host it.
Somebody wrote in one time to Scott Muni, the DJ. He says, "Dear Scott, he goes, back in February of 1964, when the Beatles appeared on the Ed Sullivan Show, my parents made me watch some kid show. Do you happen to know what the name of that show was?" It goes, "Well, we took a look, and it was most likely The Wonderful World of Disney in color." He goes, "I'm sorry you had to watch that," he said. So
it wasn't bad.
It goes all the way back to probably the early 60s.
I mean, they would show heavily edited versions of the movies, but still.
All right. Well, I mean, that's something. That's good for clarification. For somebody in the chat, no, I'm 26. I'm not 16. I just haven't heard.
He's been sheltered.
Like it's just the people in my family were not super into all this stuff, so I wasn't exposed to it, and none of my friends specifically brought up a lot of these things. I mean, yeah, we had our certain stuff that would be brought up that everybody knows about and talks about, but not all this stuff. So I'm just learning this now, I guess, and never been brought up before.
Boag sends another Mexican $50.
Yes.
Ole.
The 90s Godzilla series paid tribute to the Hanna-Barbera in some way. They did travel on a boat. They did use a call to get Godzilla to help.
I think that's possibly speaking to the fact that maybe Dean Devlin and Roland Emmerich and them probably were more familiar with that fucking series than they probably were the movies.
Yeah.
I would be surprised. Boag sends another Mexican $20.
$2, I think.
That's probably Ole.
Fox's Peter Pan and the Pirates were great.
That was a little past my time, but I do remember it.
Oh, I vaguely remember that one. Yeah, that's where he's wearing like the brown clothes, right?
Yeah, it was a little bit more updated kind of version of Peter Pan. It wasn't like overly kiddish or anything. Pauly Shore should have a cartoon. They gave Pauly Shore a TV show. That didn't roll over too well. It lasted, what, 3 episodes, 2?
Chilling with the Wheaties.
Yeah, I think.
What's funny is he did a great movie.
Encino Man.
Pauly Shore's dead. Well, besides Encino Man.
Oh, that, yeah.
Have you seen that, Script Doctor?
Oh, I remember. Yeah, 2004 it came out, or 2005?
Same year. It came out same time as episode 2 because he was bitching in one of them things about that he couldn't get his hands because he was the only other movie in town using digital to film at the time. And he was griping because George Lucas had rented all the fucking digital cameras in town. But the movie, he plays himself, and it's all about how his career went totally to shit. And then like he gets this random idea to fake his death because that makes any celebrity
interesting,
like, live forever kind of thing, like Jim Morrison, all that kind of business. So he goes and does it. It's hilarious. It starts off, like I said, it kind of like picks up and it's kind of like semi-autobiographical because you see like, he's at the top of his game and his TV show's on the air and he's got his girlfriend and all that shit. And then all his life goes to hell kind of thing. It shows it all. So it's kind of funny. And he has a lot of fun with himself. It's got a lot of cameos in it and famous people playing themselves. There's even that joke because he kept getting him and Adam Sandler for a while used to get confused with each other when Adam Sandler first started. So he even has Adam Sandler do like this voiceover joke bit, and it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny.
Oh man, I barely remember that movie.
It was pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty good. You guys should check that out if you haven't seen it. But yeah, that series that series is brought up in that movie. That's what made me think of it. So yeah, it is more of a self roast. He has a lot of fun with himself. God, what's the name of the guy? Michael Aday or something like that. He was in Deadwood. He's a chubbier guy, but he plays this crazy nut who's like his number one fan, and he's seen Son-in-Law like 1,000 times.
Oh God.
And he even puts himself in prison just so he can get
so he's just close to Pauly Shore.
Well, he's pissed because he faked his death. I mourned you, Pauly. I know, I'm sorry. It's a great movie. It was funny as shit.
Yep.
Yeah, his mom is dead now, but she did own the Comedy Store. She's in the movie too. Just her voice anyway.
Yeah. I actually did see the Gummy Bears cartoon.
Gummy Bears,
the gummy berry juice and all that. Yeah, I kind of remember. I don't remember at all what that show was about, but I remember that I watched it.
That show is about drugs are good, okay?
Yeah, good, okay. Yep.
They make you bounce.
Did they remake a My Favorite Martian cartoon? Christopher Lloyd.
Well, that was actually a TV show before that was a movie.
Yeah, that was just early '60s TV show.
Oh my God! No,
Yeah.
okay.
That one was a result of in the 90s we had this boom of TV shows from the 50s and 60s and 70s being made into movies. And that was because the Addams Family hit big.
Yeah.
And then so you had an onslaught of them from that one to Brady Bunch, Beverly Hillbillies. What else did they do? God, there was tons of them. Car 54, Where Are You?
Oh, I remember Car 54, Where Are You? They did the Munsters.
Well, they did like a TV thing with the Munsters, I think, but they didn't do a movie.
Yeah, that's right.
Because they had what's his face, who was the lead vampire in Lost Boys, was playing Fred in it.
Kiefer Sutherland? No.
No. The guy who plays the lead vampire.
Oh, yeah.
The guy that the mom's dating. I can't think of his name. He did the Dodge commercials for the longest time. He just passed away. Somebody in the chat will get it. Yeah, there was an elf cartoon. We brought that up before.
So, do you guys think that they'll start like having a trend where, you know how nowadays, like currently, everybody's trying to adapt things to live action? Do you think they'll do a reverse where they'll have like a Terminator cartoon or like a Alien and Predator cartoon? Or
that was kind of what the 80s were. And we almost didn't. We didn't get those, but we probably almost did. That's kind of what started off the conversation to begin with, ironically, is because I said I think they probably tried to get an Aliens cartoon made because they had the toys and shit and Terminator 2 and all that stuff, but that was probably where they just...
I wouldn't doubt that to be a thing. And with the right, animation or team making it, that could be an interesting TV show for like, if they aimed it toward adults, maybe. I can't see there being an Alien cartoon for children. Like, I'm going to kill you and get your things going around. Same with Terminator and Predator, but PG, that'd be funny. But no.
Yeah,
is Edward Herman? I could have swore he did.
Herman, Mr. Another, maybe KK or Chinballs could do a woke Addams Family. Oh please.
Oh God.
I still can't believe people are on board with any of this kind of stuff after it's failed. It's like apparently, like you said, who was it that said they don't want to make money? To them, that's not as important as being the webitude.
Yes, he was. I was right. I'm sorry to say this. You in the chat, I was right.
Edward Herman?
About right.
Edward Herman. Yeah, Captain April. I was right. He did play him. Right here, I'll show you.
Edward Herman.
It was a TV backdoor pilot that never got turned into a show. Here Come the Munsters. He played Herman Munster. Told you.
Okay. Oh, okay. Edward Hyman. Yeah, how about that? Yeah. Rookie Critic. You ever watch any Woody Allen?
He was the dad in Richie Rich.
Yeah, he was.
Another cartoon turned into a live action.
Rookie Critic. You ever watch any Woody Allen films? No?
I don't know if I have, really. What are some ones that he's done?
Everything you ever wanted to know about sex, but were too afraid to ask.
Yep. Take the Money and Run, which is like one of the first comedies. Annie Hall, Bananas, Sleeper, Love and Death.
No.
Love and Death is
Deconstructing Harry.
No. I haven't heard of these ones either, to be honest.
Zelig is a good one. But
did you just say you've never heard of Lethal Weapon?
No, I've heard of Lethal Weapon, but all these ones are listed. I couldn't hear anything.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Lethal Weapon, I've seen all 4 of the Lethal Weapons, and I freaking loved them. Those are great.
I was gonna say you should at least know those.
I really love the end fight in Lethal Weapon 4 with Bruce Lee and is that Bruce Lee in there, or is that somebody else?
Jet Li.
No, that's Jet Li. Bruce Lee sadly had been dead for about 20 years.
I don't really know my history with them.
That's all right. Yeah,
but like
Jet Li was
final fight with these old timers against him. Yeah. That was kind of cool.
I did like part 4. I liked Lethal Weapon 4. Chris Rock was in it. Rob, you do a good Chris Rock, but I can't.
It's a motherfucking Jet Li. Motherfucker, Jet Li, that motherfucker owed $50. Yeah, he Jet Li out of town before he paid me. No, that's our best Chris Rock I got for today. Yeah. Oy vey. Yeah. So I don't know what else to say about that. That's all I got.
I don't have anything to say about that.
So yeah, so ABC's gonna start running movies again on
I thought they already started last week or whatever, but yeah, or a couple weeks ago. With they're all Warner Brothers movies. Oh, ABC you said, right?
Yeah, ABC, yeah.
CBS already started doing it. That's what I was thinking of.
Oh yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, they did like Raiders and Forrest Gump and a few other Paramount movies.
My name's Forrest Gump. You call me Forrest Gump. So, like I said, so after KK ruins Indiana Jones, that's it. She's done pretty much, right?
Lord knows.
At this rate, she might be promoted even higher. Who knows?
She has more staying power than plutonium. I mean,
She has a half-life of 5,000 years. Is that what you're suggesting?
It seems like it. It seems like it's been 5,000 years since she took over Star Wars and ruined it. Dear God, I'm like, I can't. I just can't. People who fail and they keep failing upward. It's unfathomable. Anybody else would have been fired a long time ago.
Is she actually working on the next Indiana Jones movie?
Supposedly, they were making another Indiana Jones movie.
Why are they making another one?
Harrison and George and Spielberg originally thought of 5 stories that they wanted to do, but they could never decide on the most recent 2.
Okay, because I don't know. At this rate, just in my opinion, I would say just let it be. But I mean, I guess if I don't know, because I don't know. This comes from me. I don't think they need to do a 5th one, but you know, I thought the Indiana Jones movies were okay, but I don't know.
Speaking of all these R-rated cartoons or movies based on cartoons based on R-rated movies, this is something I thought about a long time ago. I did this way back when. This is horrible, but here's what this kind of was like something I thought of back in the day.
In the tradition of rating.
Oh no, Joe Pantoliano suffers head injury after being hit by a car.
That was last night. He's fine.
You ready to go solve a mystery, Mr. Giggles Butt?
Let's do it, Axel.
Troll.
Beverly Hills Cop cartoon.
Yeah.
Done in Flash, it looks like.
I did one for Die Hard too. It's kids' cartoons based on properties that shouldn't be kids' cartoons.
Behind the green door.
Sure you don't.
Oh, this is old as shit. Yeah.
Stolen bicycle case coming.
This is what, 6 years? 7 years?
Yeah. And he's got a little imaginary friend because, you know, they had that kind of shit on cartoons.
Yeah.
Mr.
Gigabutt.
We really need to find those missing bikes, man.
Sorry about leaving the keys in the bubble.
Is yours,
What?
Oh my God.
What?
That's oh my God. I didn't realize that was yours.
Yeah. That was
what?
me.
Oh my God. It's the Gigabutt.
It's the Gigabutt.
That is something that they would name.
You remember they always had the stupid little, they would always add stupid. Even the Punky Brewster fucking show added a stupid weird sidekick creature.
Yeah.
Mr. Another sends us $5. Here's a crossover for the ages. Adult Eddie Munster and Wednesday Addams get married. Also, does anybody remember the show Erie, Indiana? Yes, and that would be amazing, but they're at 2 different studios, unfortunately. That's the only way that wouldn't happen. Because the Addams family is either at MGM and Paramount, and then the Munsters are at Universal.
Yeah, Munsters are still Universal.
Oh, man.
I think Addams Family CBS, actually. So that's probably why they were all over the place. Because like MGM released the DVDs, but Paramount released the movie back in the day, and then I think with the corporate split, they went to CBS, if I'm not mistaken. But then MGM just did the animated series, so maybe MGM does have the rights to them. I don't know.
Oh.
The animated movie, not series, I mean.
The corporate split. Speaking of corporate split, Grace Randolph says that Viacom CBS might be bought by Netflix. I don't think that.
I don't buy that. Their stock has actually been going up over the last couple weeks.
Maybe not CBS Viacom, but they might buy Paramount. Because they've been doing a lot of, like, Beverly Hills Cop 4 is going to Netflix.
This is going to be the third Beverly Hills Cop 4 that they've filmed, and only I think the first one that's going to be actually shown.
Technically, yeah, because that TV series they shot, and I don't remember them filming anything else, did they?
They filmed like what was supposed to have been 4, and then they cut it up and reshot it to make it look like an unaired pilot. And then there's this one that they're doing again, I guess, and it's weird. The whole them trying to get a fourth Beverly Hills Cop has been a nightmare.
Well, I have a feeling this one will happen because they got the Netflix deal. So
yeah, they got the Netflix
almost like
distribution.
a done deal. So this is just a matter of waiting till Eddie Murphy was done with, well, probably the pandemic now. But first of all, it was just waiting till he was done with Coming to America 2, and then he was supposed to jump right into Beverly Hills Cop 4. So we'll see.
Yeah, he's on his revival career.
The whole thing about him having a daughter for Coming to America 2, no. I mean, because why not just do it? His son is looking to get married, and he's in the king role. I mean, that'd be so much easier.
Well, it's not even so much that. From what I heard, it kind of pissed me off from the thing is it's like he's supposed to have some long lost kid that's in New York from when he was there. And it was like, when did he have sex with anybody but his wife?
Yeah.
No,
that makes no sense.
Have sex with anybody but his
That's
wife.
what I'm saying.
We didn't even see them have sex. I mean,
I have sex with my bathers. Do you have sex with your bathers? I do.
Yeah. They're trying to go. This conceived by during the woke craze, I imagine. They'll have Eddie Murphy, be humiliated by the daughter, and
like he's trying to teach her what America was like when he was there, but she's already ahead of the game, type of thing.
Yeah, Dad, it's totally like not what you think it is. You don't understand because I'm a millennial.
All I know is if they make him a bad dad just because he didn't know he had this kid for all these years, it's going to piss me off.
Yeah, that's going to be upsetting.
Because they've got like everybody back, and then even worse, it's supposed to be PG-13.
What?
Yes. I don't know what the fuck they're thinking.
Can't have an R-rated comedy these days.
Guess not.
R-rated, yeah. Not many great comedies. Phil, okay. You want to get the maximum number of people, but the people who are this is gonna appeal to are gonna be older. It's not gonna make a difference.
Yeah, I don't see many 12 or 13-year-olds wanting to see Coming to America 2.
No.
Not only that, I mean, what are first of all, you can't do half the jokes you did in the first movie anyway nowadays. Second of all, really, what difference does it make if you throw a few F-bombs and a few racy jokes in there? Really, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, jeez, it's
Forbidden Ruin says the Peacock was packaged with my Comcast Xfinity for free. That's because Peacock is Comcast.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
I know, right, Mr. Another Boo?
Well, I was going to say, when I was in middle school / high school, a lot of R-rated comedies were hilarious. Because, like, I don't know, is the age humor, like, I assume American Pie and stuff wasn't PG-13, but, like...
Oh, no, that was hard R.
In that age group, that was the most funny. As I'm older, I don't really find it to be that enjoyable or funny, but when I was younger...
American Pie is definitely a product of my era. Like, that movie came out I'm the same age as the kids in that movie. Okay, like that is like my era's Porky's.
Right.
So I can totally understand somebody younger or older not relating to those movies at all.
Right, but what I'm saying is that like the age group of between like 14 and 17, like R-rated comedies would probably be for them, and in a way, like for a lot, they will find.
They always were kind of marketed that way. You're right. Like they always knew that it was 14, 15, 16-year-olds that were spending most of the money on movies like Revenge of the Nerds and Friday the 13th and shit like that.
Right. Like even if it's aimed for like your audience age currently, like a lot of 14 to 17, I feel like would find it funny as well because it's more mature and it's like, oh, you know.
Well, PG-13 wasn't even a thing till 84, so.
Yeah.
I would love a Short Circuit 3, but we'll never get it. We'll get a remake before we get a Short Circuit 3.
Well, they can never do a Short Circuit 3 because of that white guy playing the Indian guy.
Yeah. Fisher Stevens. Yeah.
Yep.
Bimbo.
Who was also in Hackers with Angelina Jolie.
They could just get Raj with Angelina Jolie.
What do you mean
Raj
its
from
weapon's
Big Bang
still active? What if this thing goes out and shoots a busload of nuns? What are you going to do then, huh? Then what? What would the headline on that be? Nun soup?
I'm standing here beside myself. Oh, no.
You know what people are liking at night? Lights. Oh, yeah. I haven't driven in like 15 years.
Oh, for God's sake. Oh, brother.
Shit? Where's the shit? No shit.
This just thinking about all the stuff that could go wrong just makes me tired.
I almost don't
Makes me
want them
very,
to
very
touch
tired.
shit like Short Circuit at this point because they would. They'd fuck it up. They'd make number 5 a girl.
Yeah.
Just
You'd get like a
because.
patch update and it'd be Jenny number 5.
That and Gremlins. Captain Robert April. Gremlins was a big part of it too. Which happened to be Spielberg related, so. Probably Parrot Head. I have all the Porky movies, depending on which one you're talking about specifically, but yeah. Do I think they'd get more people in theaters if they started making more R-rated movies? Honestly, I think people care less about the ratings now than they ever did before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually never see a movie coming out and go, I wonder what it is rated. Like that's never on my mind.
And the reason I think that is because of how many people complained about Deadpool. It's like, you idiots.
That's a good point.
What were they expecting?
I wanted to take little Jimmy and Susie to see a movie called Deadpool. You know, it's nice and fun, child friendly. You know, just
rated R film that's came out Valentine's Day. There's a lot of comedy already around.
I like to take them to movies with titles with "dead" in it. You know.
See, and I think the Joker, though, people kind of knew going in that was a dark fucking movie. Mm-hmm. Like you can at least tell that much from the trailers. It'd be a gender neutral Johnny Five, probably. Johnny Five identifies as a woman. Input.
That's so
danger, Will Robin.
Another layer of things. If you have a Johnny number 5 as a woman demanding input.
Disassemble. Dead.
Don't disassemble number 5.
I actually love Short Circuit 2. That's an underrated sequel. You did not tell me I was in a city.
When he hacks the jumbo vision so that the guy can say words. You and the balloons, move it.
Move it. Yeah, you.
That's like that would be really freaky.
Los locos kick your ass. Los locos kick your face. Los locos kick your balls into outer space. Number Johnny 5. You watch your mouth. Sorry. I love that movie. The end is kick-ass too, and they beat the hell out of him. And then fucking Fred puts him back together. Michael McKean.
Oh yeah. I forgot Michael McKean's in that movie.
Yeah, he is. Oh no, not your silk shirt. Your silk shirt. Are you sure you can handle this? I'm tip top shape. Just a few Bugs Bunny to work out, and we'll be fine. Mr. Another sends us $2. Captain Marvel Deadpool crossover. Anybody? Oh God! As long as it's 10 seconds long and it's just him cutting her head off and going, "Shut the fuck up." Never thought I'd say that to anybody. And then he just walks away. That's all you need. Yeah, Radio Shack. I love that.
What's a Radio Shack? Just kidding.
No, don't even go there, man.
I've been into those, yes.
I don't know. The creator of Hulk TV show made Short Circuit. I did not know that. Short Circuit 2, anyway. I did not know that.
I have no idea what that's referencing, but I know of.
Is that the same dude who did V too, or is that a different guy I'm thinking of?
Oh, that's a good question. I gotta look that up.
Kenneth Williams, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Highlander, they've been trying to remake for God knows how long. There was an actor attached to it last I knew, but that last we heard about, because we checked on this, like a couple weeks ago or a month ago or so, Rob, and I think it was something there hadn't been any movement on it in like a year or two. Kenneth Johnson. Oh, okay. Yeah. He's
Kenneth Johnson did V in Hulk, and
yeah, he's real well known. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I did not.
He did all the Alienation stuff for TV.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't really even stop to. I didn't never notice. I mean, now that you say that, I kind of remember seeing his name at the end of the movie when Johnny Five's jumping up, but I just never clicked. Probably. Yeah. He was a Brit too, evidently, according to Steve T. That's good to know. Anyone watch The Munsters with Jerry O'Connell and Portia Rossi with Eddie Izzard? I remember it, but no. Wasn't that one that was? It wasn't called Munsters though. It was called something else, wasn't it? I can't remember now. That was just a couple of years ago, wasn't it? Highlander as a female doesn't resonate as well. Well,
they did a TV series for that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I got the DVDs of it. It's that's
the Raven, right?
Raven, yeah. Well, Highlander's the problem with Highlander is kind of twofold. You have this issue of there can be only one, and then you have so many, and then on top of that, you have some that are friendly and familiar. And then they always set up other things to where there can never be only one, because like there's the group of immortals who've like they've volunteered to have themselves like put into like this coma forever or whatever, so that the game can never end, and it gets all
they're comaed and then buried somewhere.
Yeah, it's in Endgame, which Endgame is its whole other kind of like fucking monster.
That's the one where like it has Connor and Duncan McLeod, right?
Yes, and how Connor dies, I fucking hate it.
Yeah, I hated that.
Fucking hate it. And then the extended cut's not even much better, because there's like an extended rough print that's on the old DVDs of that you can watch. It's like a half hour longer, but it's not much better. Murder by Death reboot. Who would you cast? I don't know if have I seen Murder by Death? Who's in that? I know the movie. I'm trying to remember who's all in it. Peter Falk, Peter Sellers. God, I think I've seen that.
Yeah, I've seen this one. I don't
know it well enough to recast it at this time. Sorry about that, Mr. Another. But if you come up with another thing we can recast, gladly. It's been too long since I've seen it. Yeah, we just said that, Raven. I got the DVDs. Raven got better during the second half of the seasons. I was never a huge fan of fucking Highlander. I got them all, which is weird, but I don't like the show nearly as much as I do the first and third film. Like those
Yeah.
are the two best movies.
Yeah. Well, Highlander: The Quickening is just to watch and laugh at.
Yeah, that's one of the best worst movies ever made.
He's calling out to Ramirez
And
as
what
an old
sucks
man.
is they will not release the original version of that movie for some reason. You cannot find it.
I think it only ever came out limited on VHS, and then
Yeah,
they
maybe
pulled it,
once
right?
on DVD for a short time, but yeah, somebody swears up and down that the version that's on the one box set is the theatrical, but I think that we figured out that it wasn't because it's the same time and all that stuff. Because they redid it again for the Blu-ray. They didn't change much this time around. They just redid some of the effects and some of the color timing and other things, but it's just like, you could have gave us both versions because I like to have the original version just for laughs.
Yeah.
Because otherwise people think you're crazy. It's like, no, there's another version of this movie where they're fucking aliens and shit.
Yeah, they're aliens. They're like in a prison ship, and then they're sent to Earth.
Yeah, he could not speak very good English, so he's like paraphrasing what the director was saying most of the time.
Yeah.
Mr. Another sent $2. Buckaroo Banzai recasting. Oh, geez, man, you don't have to send super chats.
That's a
I said just say
one.
it. You could have just said it in the thing, yeah. Honestly, what's sad about that is they almost had a
TV show with Kevin Smith
revival with
it.
Kevin Smith, and some copyright business got in the fucking way, and Kevin Smith dropped his hands and just said, "I'm out." He's not getting involved in it. So at that moment, it all just kind of died. But yeah, we almost did get a reunion TV show like Script Doctor was just talking about. Did you know anything about that or get close to that at all?
I didn't get close to it, but I did hear a whole bunch of stuff where, one party owns certain aspects of the TV rights or like another media form rights, and that's what caused the kerfuffle, because the studio that was backing it thought they had all their checks, all their boxes checked for getting the show ready to go. They were really, really close. I think they even like had casting sessions already set up, and because the scripts, Kevin Smith did finish the first season of Scripts, is my understanding.
Yeah, I know it was like just getting ready to film and everything. Like they had everybody on board and everything, didn't they?
They had so much done that I think they did a press release, and within 48 hours of that press release, that's when they learned that another party had claimed ownership of some of the rights to the characters. And so I think the studio tried negotiating to get it done, but the rights holder just did not want to relinquish anything or take whatever money that was offered, and so the whole thing just went kaput, which is unfortunate because Buckaroo Banzai is such an awesome and an amazing film that's kind of ahead of its time, but also very much rooted in the 80s. And I would have loved to see some newer stories.
As far as casting, though, like a reboot, God, I don't know. It's really hard. See, that was one thing I didn't.
Unknowns.
I was gonna say. Well, and even that doesn't necessarily always work because that was one of my problems with the RoboCop remake, especially was just anybody but Peter Weller is just like, you know.
Yeah, I mean they didn't have too much of an issue when they had the TV series, the live action TV series for RoboCop. That's the only thing that the live action didn't get was the tone, because RoboCop is making fun of your like ball-faced action films, and it's like
they dropped that tone, which was fine by me, and it actually had a little bit of interesting kind of a twist on the movie because it was like he had his humanity, and then they were trying to take it away from him as RoboCop, where in the other movie it was he didn't have his humanity and he started gaining it as the movie went on, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like they kind of played with that, and I didn't mind that. And they kind of brought his wife a bit more into the story because, like, that was one of the few things about the original RoboCop that's just kind of weird. It's just like how his wife just kind of like, no.
Yeah, his wife and kid are gone. Like they just took off.
And they kind of tried picking it up in the sequel, but yeah, they did a kind of piss poor job of it. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're absolutely right. Like, the sequel didn't live up to the first because it just. Well,
but they tried bringing her back.
To write the screenplay.
Her whole thing was have him quit stalking me. It was like, what the fuck? Oh, that Frank Miller's original script is out there. You can, not just in script form either. He did it in comic form. Did you ever see that?
I haven't seen the comic book version of it. No,
It's basically RoboCop 2 and 3. It's the same
Yeah.
basic story, but it's much more graphic, and there's a few different elements. But yeah,
I'm pretty sure there's lots of thermite in there because Frank Miller loves his thermite.
it's not horrible. I mean, but it's pretty gritty compared to what we got.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
A lot of what's in RoboCop 2 is the same, though. Pretty similar. RoboCop 3, similar concept, but you can see where they were going in that. Like, his version of RoboCop 3 would have been much better than what we got. Much fucking better. Matt G sent us $2. We need a short circuit film about the fourth robot. He reprogrammed all those robots. He made them all the Three Stooges, remember? And one of them got blowed up good. I don't know which one got destroyed completely. I can't remember now. It's been a while. So I watched it. But in the one scene where they come to attack him, he blows one up completely, and then he turns the other three into the Three Stooges. He reprograms them. So they'd just be the Three Stooges now.
Yeah. Yeah.
God, I loved Short Circuit. Short Circuit was great. Do you ever see Short Circuit, Rookie?
I mean, would you be surprised if I said I haven't?
No, I wouldn't be, but it would definitely be a movie you should check out. And like I said, the sequel's even actually really good.
Like I have no idea what you're referencing with.
The movie is about it starts out you meet like Steve Guttenberg, you know who he is, right? From like Police Academy and stuff and Cocoon.
I can't put a name.
Have you seen Police Academy?
Yes.
He plays Mahoney. He plays Mahoney.
Oh, he's Mahoney. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So he's like the main character in it, and then it's got Ali Sheedy. She was in Breakfast Club as the quiet girl. I know you've seen that, right?
That's on my list, but I don't.
Okay, you didn't see it yet. Okay, I couldn't remember if you saw it. I remember you talking about it one time.
I think I have seen some pieces.
You've probably seen her in stuff before, and then yeah, it's got a pretty good cast, and it's about these robots that are made for the military. Well, number 5 gets struck by lightning when he's on when he's getting charged up, and they see it as a malfunction, but he decides he's alive because he can start to think for himself. And it's this, and Ali Sheedy finds him, and she thinks he's an alien because he doesn't act like a robot; he's acting like an alien kind of thing, almost kind of like they kind of have a play on E.T., and he almost kind of looks like E.T. in a way. And so yeah, and not to get too much into the story, but the company Nova that made him is looking for him, and she's kind of harboring this robot that's out on the loose, and they think he's dangerous because he's got this huge fucking laser cannon on him.
He's got a laser cannon on, yeah. But he acts like a kid because he's learning, and
yeah, that's the whole best part of it. Is like it was like he was born yesterday. That's the whole kind of point. So he's like, input is his thing. He wants to learn everything, so he'll read a book in like 10 seconds. And like he goes through like all of Ali Sheedy's books in the house.
And he trashes her house if I remember right.
Trashes her house, and then he starts watching TV. So you kind of see where it's going from there. Like he just starts picking up on like that's where the Three Stooges bit comes from. So she's like, "What? You've been staying up all night watching Three Stooges?"
Okay, yeah,
he doesn't sleep. He's just a robot, really, but I mean, he's alive. It's cute. It's a good movie. It's fun as hell. And then the sequel, of course, is good too. But
what year was that released?
The original was 86, and then the sequel was 88.
Okay, I'll see if I can find those somewhere to watch.
I mean, they're like kids' movies ish. I mean, they're not like. I mean, so just so you know what you're prepared for, it's not like a kids movie, but it's kind of along the lines of E.T., but funnier.
Okay. We'll see.
And no kids. There's no kids in it like E.T., but yeah. It kept getting compared to E.T. back in the day, but unfairly.
He's got like a silhouette of E.T., but not really. He's not really.
Yeah. Like I said, they're more playing on the E.T. bit because that's where like when she thinks he's an alien and shit.
Yeah. I gotcha. That makes sense. And yes, for those in the chat, I have seen E.T. Okay.
But other than that, there's really no comparison to ET all that much outside of like the government looking for ET. Instead of that, you have like Nova, which is kind of like the government.
I assume like this machinery thinks it's a life form now, and what does it go through and questions things.
Yeah, I mean, he knows he's a robot, but he doesn't understand that he's, because that's like with a bit is like, she's like she calls Nova when she figures out he's a robot, and she's like, yeah, they're gonna come by and they're gonna pick you up and they're gonna take you apart and see what's wrong with you. And he's like, take me apart, like, and he's like, disassemble. She's like, yeah, and then there was a bit before that where he squished a bug, and she explained to him that he killed the bug. It's no longer gonna hop because he killed it on accident. So he starts to equate disassemble with being dead.
Okay.
Because she said, he's like, you squashed him, he's dead. He's like, oh, disassemble? She's like, yeah, you disassembled him all over the place.
Yep. Okay.
So like he's like, I don't want to die, it's really cool. It's like, he's like, fuck this, and he's like, I'm out of here. He takes off.
Okay.
And he just picks up on shit all along the way, and then, like I said, by the sequel, he's a bit more than a kid. He's more like a kind of a rambunctious, I wouldn't say toddler, but
Luffy in the chat says that he's kind of like an older version of Wally or something.
Wally steals a lot from Short Circuit.
Yeah.
You can tell they were very inspired by Short Circuit, down from the looks to some of Wally's mannerisms to just, I think there's even a few other little kind of, I can't remember because it's been a few years since I've seen the movie. There may even be a few calls to Short Circuit in there somewhere as like little Easter eggs. They always do that kind of shit.
Right.
But yeah, Wally looks like a squished version of number 5.
All right, but I'm adding Short Circuit to my ever-growing gigantic
That's
list.
one I think you may actually enjoy, because it's not, I don't know how bad it would date itself per se.
I don't know. Well, when you say it's like kids like, but it's from the 80s, though. I mean, so those are typically well made enough, even if they were aimed for kids. It's well enough to be tolerated by an adult.
It was kind of like basically one of those kids' movies that adults can enjoy too.
Right. That's good.
And the sequel probably dates itself worse than the original. I mean, maybe not. I don't know. What do you think?
Too, which is funny.
What was that? What was that, Jeff?
I was saying it is kind of funny too how sometimes something will be made like in the earlier 80s, and then something in the late 80s or 90s will look like it was made before the first one. Like as far as
actually, no. Now that I think about it, because of the music and some of the hairstyles and shit, the first movie might date itself worse.
Yeah. However, the content in itself is, you can look past it quite easily.
The second film is much more kid-oriented, though. I will warn you there. But it does have a really interesting story, and it's got a great cast. Not everybody comes back or everything, but...
Right. Somebody mentioned The Navigator.
Oh, Flight of the Navigator?
Hold on. I think that sounds familiar. Does that have, like, some kid finds a spaceship?
Yeah, we talked about that before, I think.
I think I've seen that one. I don't remember much that happens in it, but that does sound familiar. When I was a kid. Some kids talking to a robot or a spaceship thing, going on a little adventure.
That was the one I think I was telling you about where Pee Wee Herman does the voice of the spaceship.
Right, okay, yeah, that was it, yes.
But he's not credited as Pee Wee Herman. He's credited as Paul Mall for some reason.
Right, so...
Not even Paul Rubens.
Yeah, that's so weird.
I'm trying to get a few points with the chat that I've seen something.
And I think, is Flight of the Navigator on Disney Plus?
I think that is a Disney film, so it should be.
It is a Disney film in the U.S.
Was that a direct-to-TV Disney one or like a DVD release? Because they had a lot of those like original ones that just went straight to
No, actually, that was theatrical, but it was one of those weird ones where they had different distribution deal overseas. And ironically, I think that's made by the same company as Short Circuit, and it was released by the same company overseas. But in the U.S., it was released by Disney. They did a few movies like that in the 80s. Popeye, for instance, is the opposite. It's released by Paramount in the U.S. and by Disney overseas. Weirdly enough.
That's weird, yeah. I have seen. I did see that one.
Buena Vista did that, right?
Yeah, I think it. But I think it labels it as Disney even on the American version.
Yeah,
it's got both Paramount and Disney Pictures on there as the production companies. But it was just so I think Disney actually produced the movie, but Paramount owned the rights to Popeye in the U.S. was what it was. So it was kind of like this deal that Yeah, they own it in the U.S., but
Yeah, I did remember seeing Popeye as a kid, and I remember,
Popeye gets a bad rep.
it was weird to me as a kid because I never saw anything of it before. It was just on TV once, and I was just like, "What the hell is?"
The problem with Popeye the movie is most people were going in expecting the Fleischer cartoons, and it's actually more true to the original
source material or something.
What do you call it? Symbol theaters or whatever.
Yeah. Well, they had a comic strip, and they had those short animated things at the theaters, right?
Well, what it was is, it started out as a daily comic strip, and that was the Thimble Theater or whatever, and that's where the Olive Oil family originated from, because Popeye didn't come around till later. It was originally about the people of Sweet Haven, and that's why the movie is kind of more around the people in the community too, not just Popeye.
Yeah.
Because Popeye just kind of happened to be one of those characters that popped in after a while, and then he kind of got famous and popular, so then eventually just started becoming Popeye. So of course the movie puts him up front as the lead, of course, but it borrows so much more from the original comic strips than the cartoons. Because when they did the cartoons, that's kind of where the spinach came from, and a few other things like that they brought into the movie, of course. But like a lot of things,
looking just like
oh god, that was perfect casting, wasn't it?
Creepy too, like Olive Oil.
Oh, Popeye. What's great is I got the special edition soundtrack of that, and it's got Harry Nilsson like coaching her, doing her singing and shit. It's really kind of cool.
Sweet.
He's like, he's singing it to her, and then she'll sing it back, and it's really cool. And then you get to hear his version. Oh, fucking, that's a whole story in itself. Harry Nilsson and the soundtrack for Popeye. Because the notorious story is that he locked himself in a fucking room and said he wasn't going to write another fucking song until somebody got him a bag of coke. I don't know if Rob's ever heard that story before. Have you?
No, I haven't actually.
Yeah. Well, of course, Harry Nilsson, he crosses over with John Lennon and a few of those guys quite a few times in the history. But they brought him on to do the music for the movie, and that's the story. Is he locked himself in his hotel room, and he said he wasn't coming out and writing another piece of music until they brought him a bag of coke.
Gotta do it.
He was there on the famous Lost Weekend. Rob knows what I'm talking about there, probably.
Yeah, the 18 months that John took off with May Pang
until somebody died, and then shit, somebody fucking OD'd. It was a bunch of guys doing nothing but fucking drugs for months. And Harry Nilsson has to be one of them. John Lennon. Who else was there? Fucking
Bowie was there for a little while.
Bowie.
Yeah, and who do you call Elton John was hanging out with him for a while. I think Mick Jagger might have been hanging out.
Probably. Just about anybody who was anybody probably came through there, I'd imagine. That's pretty much what happened, Captain Rob. Someone get him his damn coke. We got a fucking deadline.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's not going to do shit until he gets a line.
I've heard stories where people had to say those same things with regards to Harvey Keitel.
Why? That's weird. I don't see him as much of a cokehead, but that's weird. I like that. He's a badass though, so I like that. That just adds more to his persona. I'm not doing another scene until you get my coke. I like Harvey Keitel. He's cool. Except for The Bad Lieutenant. I could never get into that movie. What was that, Rob?
Now what would be the equivalent? Now what would be the equivalent? Yeah, I'm not doing another line until you get me a kale smoothie.
Soy milk.
Everybody's so health conscious these days. Yeah. Oh, brother, these people. We need more personality.
Thundercats is checking out. Yeah, we'll probably check out here pretty soon. We've been going for like 3 hours. I'm surprised, Black Phoenix, there hasn't been. Yoko is probably... Didn't she try covering a lot of that shit up?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of everything kind of just went away conveniently.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. As much as we don't like her, she's a very powerful woman in some ways.
But I'm sure if she can, if there's something left over from that era that John might have scribbled on, she'd sell it.
Yeah, this is probably true. In Bad Lieutenant, Harvey Keitel wouldn't put his clothes back on until he got him some coke. I'm not doing shit to jack it off on screen until someone gets me some fucking coke.
I ain't putting a stitch of clothes back on until you give me some coke.
No coke, Pepsi. No
Oh,
Pepsi,
brother.
Coke. Pepsi, Coke. Cheeseburger, 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 cheeseburger.
Oh man, don't get me nostalgic about Saturday Night Live now.
No shit, right?
Back.
One aspect of Yoko's background everyone overlooks is her family is one of the most powerful banking. That's kind of what I was getting at there, Captain Robert April, without kind of saying it.
Yes, she could afford to be a performance artist.
Yes, it's not like she was a gold digger going after John for his money. It was more, I think, she was after the fame.
The story is that she wanted to use their fame to promote her art projects.
Exactly. That was what I was going to. Yeah, it was. Go ahead.
Are you sure? I keep saying I can't imagine that first meeting. Are you sure you've never heard of us? We're quite very popular. We've been on the telly quite a bit. Oh, no telly. No. Are you sure you've never heard of us? We're on the radio all the time.
John, I don't know. Maybe she's not heard of me, but I can't believe she hasn't heard of you.
I told you she's never heard of us.
I don't know. I mean, I'm Ringo, so nobody's ever heard of poor old me.
I mean, it's London and it's 1966 and at the height of Beatlemania. I mean, it's possible she might not have heard of us.
I think she's just having a tug at you, John. I could be wrong.
Well, anyway, I've had my fill of attractive birds.
Let's be honest. She's basically pulled your leg off by now.
I've had my fill of attractive birds. I want an ugly one.
Are you sure it's a bird?
Oh, yeah, she's a bird, all right. She's got all the jiggly bits.
I don't know.
I told you, she's got all the jiggly bits. Besides...
My brother has all those jiggly bits, too.
Maybe we should do a cartoon, when John meets Yoko. It says,
oh, God.
Are you sure you never heard of us? Are you sure you never heard of us? We're on the telly. Oh, no, telly, no telly.
What's better yet is everywhere, every other corner, because it was her art gallery thing or whatever. You have her jump over and then quickly she'll take a picture of John Lennon that's on the wall that she painted and she'll quickly take it down and throw it in the garbage. Just no, never heard of Beatles. And then she goes to the next one and it's got all four of them from the Ed Sullivan Show. She throws it in the trash. Just this whole gallery is made up of half Beatles posters.
And she replaces the pictures with Post-it notes with the word yes and maybe and all that stuff.
little magnifying glass.
Yes.
Magnifying glass hanging down from the ceiling with the word yes.
All to hide the portrait she made of John Lennon.
yes, go up, Latta, look at that. And then while he's doing that, she's changing all the portraits and Ringo's just watching her and shit.
So he steals a lampshade off of a sconce and then just puts it on a pedestal.
I probably end up sounding more like Spinal Tap.
Oh, that's fine.
Spinal Tap's classic, though.
Are you sure you've never heard of us? Are you sure you've never heard of us? How can she not have heard of us?
The Fab Four?
The Fab Four, we're big everywhere. Oh, no.
I don't know. Maybe it's true. I've never bought one of our records.
Maybe
then everybody looks at Ringo. What? They're just not my thing.
That's actually not bad. Well, it's not my thing. It's not my thing.
I'm more into jazz.
That's like, oh, for God's sake.
That would be funny. Jeff's just I have no idea what the fuck they're talking about.
Who are the Beatles?
Yeah, I'm just these things of which don't brain know memories.
Well, I'll take you even back further where it's even worse. When the Beatles anthology was on, they released 2 singles back to back, Free as a Bird and Real Love. And my cousin at the time, because this is not too long after this, like they were still pretty, that whole thing was still pretty popular. And I was living with my cousins when I went to college. And she come home and told me one day about this girl at work. They were talking about the Beatles anthology and a few other things and whatnot. And the song, because the song had come on the radio or whatever. And somebody said something about, isn't that the band that Paul McCartney was in before Wings? And she says they all just looked at each other and laughed. And she's like, what?
Oh, Karen.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, Karen. You're so cute when you're dumb.
Yeah, that's a Karen. That's
Isn't
a
that
real
the band
Karen
that Paul
moment.
McCartney was in before he was in Wings? It was almost as funny as all those people who were. Do you remember when he did that song with Kanye West and God Knows Why? And everybody was.
Yeah, people are like, hey, this guy's got potential.
Yeah, they're like, it's so nice of Kanye West to give this elderly guy a chance and show how much talent he has. It's like
he might be a big hit. What charity?
Yeah. It's like, yeah, he's Paul McCartney. We know.
That's funny.
Didn't that happen again with Sinead O'Connor?
I hope so. Her I can understand because she looks like fucking some sumo wrestler now.
Oh, she's pushing maximum density.
Well,
Yeah,
she's
she's
looking
looking
more
pretty
like
bad.
Lex Luthor, yeah.
That too. Nothing compares. Didn't Prince hate her version of that?
I guess. I don't know.
I wish I knew.
I'm pretty sure he's the thing. Prince notoriously doesn't like when anybody remakes his songs, even though he's done it to tons of other people. And there was some shit that went down with that song, and I guess he always has been pissed that it went number 1 or some shit like that because he hated her version. Something to that effect. Because she had only heard it like once before. She heard him play it live, and then he was supposed to have some part in something or other in it, and he didn't show up. She was all pissed off at him and her husband or at her boyfriend or whatever.
Remember when Prince put the Weird Al impersonator in one of his videos?
Yeah, that was probably a callback to Prince putting him in one of his videos.
Yeah. Him, yeah. He always, like, come on, man, Prince. But Al, would you do the Prince impression? That was a terrific impression he used to do. Oh my god, with the hair and the
Prince was notoriously kind of a dick. Did you ever hear? Him and Michael Jackson didn't get along simply because Prince was a dick.
Yeah.
Like, it goes back to this concert that James Brown did, and Prince and Michael Jackson both happened to be there. And there's actually footage of it out there, to be honest with you. I don't know if I want to show it because there's music and shit, but they had Michael come up on stage and Michael did a few dance moves, and then you see Michael lean over and whisper to James, and then James Brown's like, Prince is in the house, Prince, come on up here, and he has Prince come up there, and Prince has like rips his fucking shirt off, and and then he tries to like do this stripper spin around this pole that isn't bolted down to the stage, so the whole fucking thing falls down. Okay. So then he tries to play it off like he meant to do that and all this shit. He goes up, does a few like dance moves, and then when they try to hand him the microphone, he won't take it, but then he goes and grabs somebody else's guitar and does a bunch of licks and shit. He tries to play it all off and shit like that. Well, then I guess supposedly Michael Jackson wanted to get hold of the video because he knew there was a video of it. And when Prince heard that, he was irate. And it kept going and growing and growing and growing to the point where like one night Prince tried to kill Michael Jackson.
What?
He
And this wasn't the movie.
He knew Michael was coming out of this club, and he had his limo driver gun it and try to hit him with the car.
God.
They were like little bitches going back and forth, but a lot of time it was Michael's just like, he's just so mean. I don't understand why he's so angry with me. But like, yeah, there was this other time that because like they thought, they kind of would, they'd have people who'd know people, and they had several moments in history where they almost worked together, but it would generally come down to Prince saying, "I ain't doing that." That's pretty much it. Because like they were supposed to do Bad together, and he listened to the tape and he's like, "This is garbage." Because and he calls Michael Jackson. He goes, "First line of this is your butt is mine. I ain't singing that to you, and you sure as hell ain't singing that to me." So I think we were done here. So after that, like 3 weeks later or whatever, Michael Jackson gets a tape in the mail. It's Prince doing his version of Bad. He redid his song on it. I would love to hear that fucking song.
There's got to be another copy of it around.
Oh, I'm sure people have heard it. They've confirmed the story. So like there was always this back and forth between them, and then like they were almost supposed to work on the Batman movie soundtrack together. Because John Peters' initial idea was to have Prince do all the Joker-based songs and Batman do all the, Michael do all the Batman-based songs.
Tim Burton saying that in one of the documentaries.
But yeah, Michael was busy on tour, and of course Warner Brothers being the company that Prince worked for anyway, it just happened to work out. So, and Prince really needed the fucking money. Prince didn't like the words. He didn't like it more than the words. He like he's really kooky when it comes to how a song is produced. He thinks he was, and rightfully so in a lot of cases, thought he was one of the best producers out there. And that was one of the reasons why he didn't like when people would redo his songs unless he was the producer. And I think that was what had to do with the Sinead O'Connor story, is like she didn't understand why he didn't like the song because he was supposed to be there to produce and he didn't show up or something like that. So it's the only reason, it's your own fault for not showing up kind of thing. But Prince was a really fucking weird cat. Yeah, I know Prince is dead. Am I talking about him like he's still alive? I'm sorry.
Well, his music lives forever.
His music lives on forever. So does MJ.
Who knows many more songs his estate will eventually release as the years go on.
Michael Jackson wanted to be everybody from Spider-Man to Peter Pan to Batman.
Yep.
That might be, actually, to be honest with you, that might be one of the reasons why he didn't want to do, he told him no as far as the Batman soundtrack. It's because he probably said, I'll do it, but I got to be Batman. They're like, yeah, you are in the music videos. No. I want to be Bruce Wayne and Batman in the movie. And they probably looked at each other and it's like, well, if we didn't already have Jack Nicholson to play the Joker,
There's like maybe Two-Face, but you can't replace Billy D. Williams.
No, I love Prince. I love MJ. They did respect each other. They totally did. And that's why I think Prince hated him so much. Is because he knew, because Michael was always the better of the two. No matter what Prince would do, Michael would always outdo him. That was kind of, I think, the whole thing from the start. And I think it stemmed from that night in that James Brown concert where Michael Jackson kind of showed him up. And the fact that Michael wanted to get his hands on that tape just kind of rubbed Prince the wrong way, that this thing, they kept going back and forth for years. Like they went to a concert, like Michael went to a Prince concert and with, I can't remember who the other musician was. And they were sitting in like this balcony thing right next to the stage. And I guess Prince came up to him during the show and wouldn't say a word to him before or after. But during one of the songs, he went up to him and started grinding his groin in his face and playing his bass really hard in his face. And Michael's like, why did he get so aggressive? Why did he have to do that? He didn't even say hi or goodbye to me. Yeah, it was like, yeah, that's the thing. They had a weird fucking rivalry, man. It was just weird.
That's funny.
Michael and Freddie Mercury didn't get along either. But that was because Michael Jackson. That's because Freddie Mercury said he was too fucking weird.
Well, that's logical.
Freddie Mercury saying you're too fucking weird.
Yeah, that's something.
Well, and I guess the other rumor was he tried to bring a fucking goat into the fucking studio.
Yeah, I believe that.
Like that was the last straw. Like I guess yeah, Freddie wasn't having any of that shit. Yeah, they wrote State of Shock together, but Michael went to actually record it famously with what's his face from the Stones, Mick Jagger, and it's on the Jacksons album. But yeah, not a goat, a llama. It was a llama because I thought
Was it a llama? No.
Oh, okay. Well,
I heard goat, but okay.
For funny enough, yeah, I was gonna say the other llama story I heard was Prince wanting a llama in the middle of winter, in the middle of the night one year. I've heard that story. Kevin Smith got told that story.
Would they be able to order it on Amazon? Just kidding.
No, they
This
just
is before Amazon.
because like it's a long fucking story, but it's really funny if you look it up. I'm sure it's on YouTube, the entire thing. But Kevin Smith did these like Q&A sessions with colleges, but it was generally like Kevin Smith answering 2 questions because he tells such long fucking stories that and they're hilarious. Like that's where the John Peters Superman story comes from. I don't know if you ever heard that one where he wanted spiders and polar bears and shit in Superman.
And a gay Chewbacca.
And a gay robot and shit like that. Yeah. But yeah, like anyway, like Kevin Smith just happened to be working for Prince because he's seen Dogma and loved Dogma. And Prince is very religious. And he wanted to do these videos for
I think it was the Jehovah's Witnesses.
Jehovah's Witnesses, yes. And they're supposed to be like recruitment videos, basically. And Kevin, he's just like, well, whatever. It's Prince. You know, how many times in my life am I going to get to meet Prince? So he spent like, I don't know if it was a week or 2 up at Prince World in fucking Minneapolis.
One of his homes, yeah.
Yeah, and they recorded this whole thing and went through this whole bit. But throughout the week, Kevin just kind of realized that Prince was just nothing but a pain in the ass. And he was like talking to one of Prince's handlers, and he's like, God, he's just, what is it with him kind of thing? And his handler's like, oh, Prince, he just lives in his own little world. You just get used to it. Like one night in the middle of winter, he wanted a llama.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? She's like, yeah, he calls me up at 2:00 in the morning. Hey, I need a llama.
to ride or to farm?
Don't know. Don't want to ask. Prince wants a llama at 2:00 in the fucking morning in the middle of Minnesota.
Like right in on his.
And she's like, and what are you going to tell Prince? No. So what she said is, the whole crutch of this was, she goes, you just tell him we'll work on that. And he's like, okay, because like if you can't do something, he says, just say you'll work on it. He'll forget about it eventually.
Yeah, that's he probably seems like one that forgets.
Basically, is what it was. Yeah, because like the whole thing was, he was like, I was filming and I ran out of video and he wouldn't stop. And I tried to tell him, cut and whatever, but he wouldn't stop. And I didn't get a chance to. We ran out of tape. So like the last hour that he was talking, I don't have on film. And she's like, it don't matter. It's like, what do you mean it don't matter?
This, yeah.
Nobody's ever going to see this. He's like, what? I'm like, oh yeah, it'll get stuck in the vault. He's like, what do you mean in the vault? Oh yeah, Prince has got a vault full of stuff that he's done complete albums, hundreds of songs, videos, movies that he's never released.
Wow.
So that's where
I think Kevin Smith agreed to do that so he could try to get Most Beautiful Girl in the World for Jay.
That's what it was. That's what it was, I think, originally.
Yeah,
and then
they're like, no, he's like, I won't give you that, but you can have Purple Rain or More Stay. He's like, say you got More Stay.
More Stay in the Time, yeah.
Yeah, Prince stories are weird.
I love Prince, but he's a funny guy. And he just couldn't understand why he couldn't get a zoo animal at 3 a.m. Yep.
Like there's got to be a llama on the other side of the world somewhere.
You don't understand that it's not just that. It's like, I'm sure you got licenses and other things like that because a llama is not your standard farm animal, I don't think.
Right, and they just don't have one. Oh, I can just give it away.
Well, llamas are not like impossible to get in this area, but again, I think they're considered an animal where you'd have to have a special license. They're not like a cow. Right. Like if he said I want a cow, they probably could have got him a cow like nothing.
Right, but that's what I mean too. Like even if you were like a farmer and you had llamas or something, like like you can just get rid of a llama. It's not like a cow.
No, I don't think so because like the only llamas, because I lived in Wisconsin here, so like it's a lot like Minnesota. I've lived up there too. There's probably farmers that have them, but again, I've only seen a few, so I'm assuming they have to have some kind of special license. Right. So I don't think they're like normal animals
or some sort of permit for like.
Exactly, because the only other llamas I've ever seen were in a zoo.
Yep. or in Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, some of it's supposed to be completely finished, and they said when he passed away, they have enough stuff in there in the vault that they could release a new album every year for like the next 50 years, I think it was, or something like that, or 100 years,
Yeah,
something like
I
that.
think it was like 50 or 100 years. Yeah,
something like that. I can't remember now, but guy down the street here has some llamas. Yeah, but you're in Colorado right now, aren't you, Robert? They're probably a little more plentiful out there. Because that's the thing. I think part of the problem with them here is I don't think it's the the climate for them.
That's the time of year.
When llamas cry. Maybe that's why it's when doves cry. They couldn't get him llamas, so we got you
So
some
he's like,
doves
give me
here.
a dove. I'll settle for a dove. They're both white.
Oh shit! Rob's just like, I'm watching porn.
Yeah,
Or he's watching Rocky and Bullwinkle.
same thing. Rocky Bullwinkle porn.
Yeah, I said a half hour ago we're going to shut this down, so we probably should. My dog wants out. But Jeff always asks such interesting questions. So
Yeah, it's great passing on this knowledge to them because you're gonna need it as you develop more as a director.
yeah,
True. It's good stuff to know.
It's like, how many Scorsese movies have you seen yet? I know
See,
you've
that's
seen
the thing.
Jaws.
In my head, I go, okay, now what the hell has he directed exactly?
He's directed like mainly like Goodfellas, Wolf of Wall Street.
He did the King
Casino,
of Comedy.
the King of Comedy.
I think I've seen some of the King of Comedy. I don't think I ever watched it all the way, but I remember we saw at least part of it in my intro to cinema class, so I've seen some of that.
That I'm not surprised.
Comedy, I've
Taxi
seen
Driver, did I say that one?
Oh yeah, Taxi Driver's pretty decent. I like King of Comedy more because there's a scene where Robert De Niro manages to channel the most awkward situation ever when he's doing his tape recording of his stand-up bit in his basement. It's just so uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think I've seen, if they ever shown Taxi Driver on TV, I've probably seen some of it, but I don't think
There's
everyone.
not much they can actually show on TV.
Have you seen the new Joker movie?
Yes.
Then if you watch Taxi Driver, you'll probably feel like, oh yeah, I've seen this already, because it's a lot. There's a lot.
There's some familiarity to it, yeah.
Yeah, perhaps.
It's very much like that tone, that vein, that kind of
that type of approach, yeah.
They shot it a lot the same way on purpose, I'm sure. What are the numbers on what? Sorry.
Asking,
are you guys talking about something else in the chat? Okay. Speaking of porn, says Mr. Another with $5 super chat. Thank you. I would love to see the sex tape of Gilbert Godfrey Franchester. Oh my god.
Oh my god. That'd be a funny cartoon show, at least with those three voicing characters.
Her boobs are so big. Do you see her boobs, Sam?
I can't do an impression of
Sam's buried in her boobs.
But the motorboat is dead.
The motorboat is dead.
It's out of gas.
Affleck.
Yeah, the Kinnison, Drescher, and Godfrey cartoon show. That would be something.
Speaking of famous rivalries, I'm sure, Rob, you know about the whole Bobcat Goldthwait versus Sam Kinison deal, huh?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you always.
Sam had a number of feuds with people. Yeah, so he made
That's
no bones
true.
about it. Yeah, come and get me, Bob. Yeah, come and get me. Oh yeah, come and get me, Bob. Hey, I'm right here.
That was one of the times I have to side with Bob on. Sam was just a little too yeah. I don't think they're anything alike.
No, I don't think they're alike at all.
And that was his
Bobcat
beef.
has a way different approach to humor.
That was what at least Sam said his beef was, is that he thought they both were screamers, and he stole his scream.
Which is weird, because Bobcat Goldthwait's scream is more out of desperation, and Kinnison's is more like pontification.
Yeah, they're two different monsters. Well, Bobcat just went ape shit crazy. Yes, that's a totally different. Well, so did Sam in a lot of ways when the coke.
Well, I mean, one of Bobcat's jokes that I really enjoyed was he's telling the crowd, if you ever see me getting beaten by the police, please put down the video camera and help me.
Yes. I remember that one.
Like, I can't do his delivery, but that's his joke, and it's
I
like
know.
really clever.
Oh shit! I remember the first time I heard Bobcat in full blue, because I'd never seen his stand-up before I seen him in movies. And so like I'm this kid and I'm watching his stand-up for the first time, and you know, he does like the one jerking off bit and a few other things, and he even says something like, "Yeah, I bet you never thought you'd be tuning in and seeing Bob doing jerk off jokes and shit." Oh, these are the Police Academy movies.
Oh, I know that guy you're talking about. I didn't get the reference for a sec, but I got him. Yeah.
Well, now he's a director and shit.
He did a really good movie with Robin Williams called World's Greatest Dad.
Was that the Richard Pryor tribute show? Probably. The one, which one? The one that Script said or me?
With what?
Because I think the one I saw was like a Showtime special.
I think what you saw was the Richard Pryor
That could have
tribute
been.
show.
Could have been. I know it was on like Showtime, and it just happened to be because we didn't have Showtime or HBO when I was a kid where I lived. But we happened to be at a hotel for my dad's work Christmas party. So, yeah, I got to see that, and I got to watch Terminator 2 early because that was back when hotels and airplanes used to get movies like a month or two before they come out on video.
Oh yeah.
But you had to pay.
I remember
like
traveling
$30,
like with my family in the early '90s, and you'd see like a movie on TV that was in theaters like the year before. Like, just I remember Batman Returns was on a hotel TV channel, and then when we got back from the trip, we saw commercials for it being advertised on VHS for like winter, I think.
Hail, Sean, how you doing? Ain't talked to you in a while. We're actually just wrapping up here, because I think we've been going more than Rob can handle. What is that noise?
Like 3 or 4 leaks.
It's you, rookie. Okay. Sounded like an airplane.
My computer hums sometimes when I'm not.
Oh man, I had that problem until I finally fixed it.
Well, it's like I don't have I'm just using my laptop microphone. I don't have my Blue Yeti plugged in, so you'll hear the hum of the computers.
And yeah, I don't know if I'm saying this right, but Tannhauser Gate. Yes, Razor Fist does a great job of dismantling Leaving Neverland. I was going to say Finding Neverland. That's the Johnny Depp movie. I guess there's a few. I don't know if those are his video titles, but otherwise, yeah, the Razor Fist videos. He does a great job of ripping that shit apart. But yeah. Bobcat ended up marrying the girl from Unhappily Ever After, Nikki Cox. Are they still together?
Oh, she was on Star Trek: The Next Generation. She's Data's friend.
I'm trying to remember if they're still together or not. Well, as far as like one of Bobcat's movies you might want to check out, Rookie, he's in it, but he also directed it. Shakes the Clown.
Oh yeah, you should watch Shakes the Clown.
And you might be able to find that real cheap because they re-released it on Blu-ray here not too long ago. It's called Shakes the Clown. I actually have a review of it on After Dark. Yeah.
I can't even think about what it might even be, to be honest.
It is Bad Santa before Bad Santa, but with clowns. Does that make sense? You've seen Bad Santa, right? Or you know what it is?
That's another one of the ones that I've seen.
That doesn't help.
It's one of the ones that I've seen some of the movie, but I have not seen it all the way through. So, like, I've seen maybe a couple scenes out of Bad Santa.
It's a very dark movie, but it's also a comedy. Got a lot of famous people back before they were really that famous, and cameos and shit. Some of them are pretty famous. Like Robin Williams has a cameo, and obviously he was famous at that point. But like Adam Sandler and some of his normal goons he has in movies. The guy who does SpongeBob's voice is in it. God, who else is in it? I'm trying to think.
I can't remember. I haven't seen the movie in a while, but
it's a great movie.
It's got a lot of it's got some character actors, some stand-up comedians.
It's really funny. He's this birthday party clown, but he's a drunk and a womanizer, and he gets himself wrapped up in this murder plot.
Okay. I think I'll definitely check out the robot one first, though. That one.
Short Circuit. Shakes the Clown is something you got to be kind of prepared for. Julie Brown. That's who I was trying to think of. Who else was in
it?
Right. Shakes the Clown. You definitely got to be in the right mindset for. It's a darker kind of movie. Yeah, Florence Henderson's in the beginning. I forgot about that. That's right. Oh shit. You ever seen that, Rob? Shakes the Clown?
No, I have not.
You might like that one. It's a darker comedy, but it's pretty good.
It sounds like a cartoon title, to be honest.
Well, that's just the name of his character or whatever.
Yeah, I could see them making a theme song. Shakes the Clown, bam, 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 get his lunch money. Something like, I don't know.
You could make it a really fucked up clown day and then watch Vulgar.
Oh yeah, that's Brian O'Halloran.
And then watch Deliverance.
And then then finish it off with Deliverance. That's how you do it.
No clowns in that, but you'll understand afterwards.
God.
Yeah, I still need to watch Deliverance. Also, I haven't seen that.
See Deliverance. That's a great movie. Has
Yeah,
anybody spoiled it for you yet, though?
No, actually, surprisingly.
Okay,
no.
I won't say a word about it. But yeah, I won't say a word.
Yet.
Vulgar, on the other hand, if you're even lucky enough to find it, because it's been out of print for years.
It had a very limited print run too.
I'm half kidding. I don't know if you could stomach that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Vulgar's a very vulgar film.
Actually, I would be Jeff's age when I first saw it, but I heard about it years prior.
Yeah, it's a messed up movie.
It is a messed up movie.
I have seen War Games, John Willis in the chat.
It is nothing like War Games.
It kind of is a similar, it's a different but similar kind of thing with Shakes the Clown. It's about a guy who's a party clown, but he's not a womanizer or a drunk or anything like that. He's actually like in it because he actually wants to be an entertainer kind of thing. And some bad shit happens to him. He gets past a lot of it, and then he actually gets a little success because he stops some crime, isn't it, Script Doctor?
If memory serves, yeah, he right when he's about to he stops a crime.
Something like that. He gets famous in the news, so he ends up getting a TV show and all this other crap, and then the bad stuff that happened to him in the past comes back to haunt him now that he's famous. It is a very dark film. It's not even remotely a comedy. So, I mean, it's got some comedic moments to it because it's got some of Kevin Smith's friends, and Kevin Smith's even in it. He plays some gay guy.
Yeah, I think it was directed by his DP, right?
I think so. Yeah, it was directed by Jeff Anderson.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just... Oh, I guess they had the same DP.
Yeah, they probably used the same.
Okay.
They probably used, what's his face? Rat Face.
Yeah.
That's what they call him. I can't think of his fucking name, though.
Yeah, it's escaping me, but I can picture his face in my head.
Well, he's actually worked on other movies now other than Smith's.
No, he's done a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And I think he dropped the Rat Face moniker, but it used to be in his name when he come up on screen. It was whatever Rat Face his name was. Yeah. I know you want to go out, Sadie. We're gonna end the show. All right, folks. Sadie's telling me it's time to end. I think we did more than enough to get a minimum effort puppy. What do you guys think?
Oh yeah, we had a lot of different subjects tonight. It was a good chill entertaining stream.
I think so. Rob's been quiet, but you know.
I like big Asian butts, and I cannot lie.
Which, of course, in German means a whale's vagina.
Nice.
All right, Rob. I need some music. I need some tunage.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Pick up. The Script Doctor. Check out the Rookie Critic on his channel. And, of course, check out Steve Kenobi as well. And Scott from Scorpion Podcast. Till next time.
Just when you think this show is terrible.